Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to King of the Hill Take 2. So this is a continuation of yesterday's stream, which unfortunately had to be cut short due to some lag issues, but it's the same basis. It is a stream to celebrate the fact that we have reached 250 subscribers on the channel. Massive thank you to you guys for making us reach that landmark. So we're doing a bit of a fun stream, which is just the guys will be given a faction at random. Going to be using a magical wheel today, very, very professional, which I'll show off in just a minute. And then they will have 3 attempts to auto-gen an army, but once they press that button, they can no longer go back. So there's a little bit of a risk element involved as well. And up first in today, let's see if they've joined the lobby. Not quite yet, so we're just waiting on Darth Pendragon and Noob for Life. And in the running order for today, we have Stormrunner coming in just after these guys, Suave, Papa Palpatine, Wu-Tang, which is a fantastic name by the way, Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Dissa, and Raptor. So Raptor did play in last week's stream, and Croissant and Dissa are both new to the stream, but the rest of the guys were the people who couldn't play yesterday, so we're trying our best to make sure everyone gets a go. What's up, Dave the White Lizard? How's it going? Hope you're all good. Looks like Darth Pendragon has arrived. Let's drop a little hey man there for him. So there's a few little rules. The attacking rule is going to be in place as standard for these type of events, and also the guys can take away spells that have been given to any casters they are gifted and use that extra funds to add items to lords and so forth, as when you randomize, the computer will give you all the spells every single time and no items. So there's a little bit of change you can do, but apart from that, it's a lot down to luck. So we'll just wait on Noob for Life, check Discord. Looks like he is in fact online, maybe mid-game, so we'll give him a couple of minutes to pop out. But how are you guys doing today? Always have luck to be in work when Torn is... Oh, that sucks, man. It'd be great to have you back in. So while we're waiting on him, I'm going to show off... Wait for it. Boom! Hopefully that has appeared on the screen. If it hasn't, we're in trouble. There should be a big wheel right now with all the factions on it, and then I press this magical button, and it spins around, and it will select who our people are going to be. So, for example, Beastmen right there, that is what Darth Pendragon would play. I'd press it again, and whatever appears this time, Noob for Life would play. So, as you can see, very professional. If you've ever wondered what a professional YouTuber looks like, you will have to wait till I get a face cam, but then it'll be me. Cool, cool. So let's wait and see when Noob for Life's going to pop in. Drop a little message on Discord. Where's his name? There he is. Cool, just let him know that he is up. What's up, Dissa? How's it going? Goodwill, thank you very much. Fancy wheel indeed. I'll take it off the screen for now though, so we can hide it there. Boom. While we wait for the mighty Noob for Life to get ready. Oh, he's mid-game with Palpatine at the moment. No worries, we can give him a couple of minutes. Before we get started, it does allow people to kind of amass on the stream. Not turn leaving his block up all the time. I have done that before between an entire game of a really awesome battle between Chaos and Lizardmen in one of my first ever tournament streams. So don't go back and watch my old stuff, just all the new stuff. It's amazing, you should check that out. So, the list of players is Darth Pendragon up against Noob for Life in Game 1, Stormrunner, Suave, Papa Palpatine, Wu-Tang, Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Dissa, and Raptor. So 9 games in total. Normally I would allow the list to grow as the stream goes on, but I'm a little bit under the weather today, got a bit of a headache and so forth, so I've loaded up on painkillers, and we still have 9 games to get through. So I've cut the list off there for today, but if you do want to join in future King of the Hills tournaments, or just want to stick around and have a chat with me and a load of cool geezers, then just hit the Discord link down below in the description. It will allow you to enter the magical and crazy realm of ducks, which is what we like to see. Hope everyone's doing good though. If you do have any questions, now is a good time to shoot them while we are waiting on Mr. Noob for Life. And I was going to check Discord. Yeah, still says he is online, so I'm assuming he is mid-game. If it goes on for too long, we will pop Stormrunner in his place and just switch those guys around in the order, which should be fine. Mr. Raptor, how's it going? You are indeed going to get a taste of your own medicine. So, for those who are new to my streams, we do have a very cool dude called Raptor, who takes part in a lot of events, who will often offer up one or two gloriously disgusting maps for the last couple of games of the stream. But Raptor is our last competitor today, so he will be forced to play on one of his own maps, which he did actually suggest to me before he knew he was going to be at the end. So, a little bit of taste of his own medicine here, which should be some pretty good fun. Now, of course, the idea of the stream is to try and get the longest win run possible, and the way to do that is it's a best of one, winner stays on. And also, you kind of want to be king at the end of the stream as well. It's always nice to be that last guy left alive at the end. Of course, it's going to be really tough for those people at the beginning, but they have the better chance of getting that long win streak. Let's pop Noob for Life just one more message on here, and then give him literally 2 minutes. If he doesn't hop in, Stormrunner, be prepared, as we will chuck you in instead of Noob for Life. And of course, we'll get him in straight away after, as I know he is online and whatnot. This should be all good. So we are playing at El Anguil today as our opening map. Now you may be thinking, Duck, you've lost your mind. You always start on Troll Country. What has happened to you? Well, because this is a continuation of yesterday's stream where we only managed to get 2 or 3 games done, we already started on Troll Country, and this is kind of a continuation rather than a part 2. So we're going to keep it as it is. Give Raptor Steps of Isha. Well, he has already given me a map. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. Oh, God. Okay, he just sent me a new map. So we are going to have Black Ark Landing as the final map. I have never played on it before. Yo! So we do have Noob for Life representing the Extreme Meme team here. So we are going to now give the guys their build. So we will start with Daft Pendragon first. With our new fancy wheel. Let's pop that onto the screen. Boop. So Daft Pendragon, we'll give that a good couple of clicks there to really get it spinning. Daft Pendragon is going to be Vampire Counts. Boo. Undead Spookies there, who are decent infantry, but obviously very light on, well, no range at all. And some pretty decent utility, so we'll see how he likes that pick. So Vampire Counts for Daft Pendragon, kind of suits his name quite a bit. And Noob for Life will be Empire. Very, very nice indeed. So let's hop into the game. So Daft is Vampire Counts. And Noob, Empire. If I do at any point leave the wheel up, please scream at me in chat till I take it down. Daft, time to auto. Oh god, I never play them. This is the best thing about doing a randomly selected force, as you play factions you never normally play, you play units which you never see, and it is a load of good fun. Of course, it's not very competitive, but it's a one-off special, should be some good fun. So, we have the first Autogen here with some Blood Knights. Looks like we also have the Verix Reavers as well, which are renowned Black Knights. A couple of Corpse Carts, a Vampire Lord, so not too bad build. Stick or twist. So we will see if he's going to stick with this mighty force or do a little bit of a twist. It's not too bad a build, I wouldn't have said. It looks like he's considering it right now. Let's see. So yes, it is a very lawful matchup indeed. You're definitely correct there. It's very old school. Humans fighting all the baddies here. Looks like we also have a Terrorgeist here. It's going to be pretty useful. Banshee, Vampire Lord, lots of good nasty stuff in here. Could use a lot of good tools up against the Empire, but of course you don't know what you're facing, so it's quite hard to build. Looks like he is just considering it as we go though. Big old Ping him on Discord. Don't worry, I've already got Noob for Life in here now, which is all good. Twist. So we are getting a second twist here. If he doesn't like this one, he has one more. So, looks fairly similar to the previous one. Did this switch? It did, didn't it? I swear he had these units before. Yes, we've lost the Corpse Cart though, and we have gained a Necrak Vampire Lord instead. So, stick or last twist. Overall, not too bad a build. Again, I'm liking the 3 units of cav. Gives you some great mobility. Very thin front line, however, which could start to really struggle up against the Empire. And Corpse Cart, Terrorgeist, Failbats, nothing too scary, but nothing too bad either. Let's see what he is going to go for with this one. So we do have Graveguard holding that centre pocket, also with some of the ethereal boys themselves, the Cane Wraiths. But apart from that, it's going to be a little bit tough. Looks like he's just considering, maybe trying to see what he can spend this extra remaining funds on, as you can add items, but that is it. So you can take away spells and add items, but no chevrons, no change of units, no mounts, nothing of the sort. Oh, says sure, but not sure if that is a stick or a twist. I'll stick to it. Awesome. So we are up to Noob. Your turn, Noob. Noob for Life, a very deceiving name. Noob for Life is an incredibly good player here. Played many times on the channel before, and I believe won a few tournaments in his time as well, representing the Extreme Meme team. So let him know it is his time. I meant if you leave the wheel up. Oh, thank you, Stormrunner. Yes, indeed, that would be fantastic. Just pin me constantly, scream my name to the heavens. Also, can we hit 275 on stream? That would be fantastic if we could. This was meant to be a 250 sub special, but it's because of the delay. It's actually kind of getting a little bit close to the mighty 300. So, of course, campaign units are in because you have to take unit caps off to randomize. So we do have Suit Sun's guns here and the Knights of the Everlasting Light. We have 2 units of Demigryph Knights. I really like this build. This is a super fun build. Outriser grenade launchers can do decent work. There's not too much to protect this artillery with 1 frontline infantry being Swords of Ulrich, but still. Twist or stick, good sir. So many guns to protect, but he has the cav to do it. He'll have to play a bit of a skirmish game, but it looks like he is going for the twist. And boom! That is a ton of campaign units here. We do have the mighty Karl Franz, Swords of Ulrich, Elder's Guard, Nordland's Mariners, and Karabag Greatswords, which is very, very cool. Some Demigryph Knights as well. So stick or last twist. So going for that last twist is super risky because sometimes you'll not be given a mage. And as we can see actually here, he has no magic, which is a pretty big loss. So he could try and twist and get that mage in there, but he could be left with a much worse army and then have no chance of kind of recovering from that. So it should be pretty interesting. What's up, Jade? How's it going? No, man, we're just waiting on the first one. Looks like we are going for a final twist. So again, no Lord. We do have no Mage. Sorry, we do have an Empire Captain General of the Empire. Sigma Sun's pretty useful troop. Couple units of Great Swords could be nice in that pocket. Death Jacks would be okay here as well. I like the Zinler's Reichsguard and the Demigryph Knights. Luminarch as well. So awesome. So let's get this rolling. Should be some good fun. Just gonna have a little sip on my drink here. Oh, I did have a banging headache, but luckily, through the magic of modern medicine and a crap ton of painkillers, I should be able to get through all 2 hours pretty comfortably. Oh, make sure they have no questions or anything. This will be interesting indeed. And that's what I love about this kind of silly type of stream, where we've gone for the auto-generated armies and the auto factions. You get some pretty crazy stuff. It's going to be interesting. Let's hop straight in. How are you doing, Jade, though? Hope you're doing all good. Good to see you back here. So we do have the mighty Darth Pendragon going up against Noob for Life in this Game 1, an old school grudge match. Both of these guys played a lot of times on the channel before, and Empire versus Counts. And then coming up, we do have the mighty and legendary Stormrunner, Suave, Papa Palpatine, Wu-Tank, Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Disser, and then the cunning and deceiving Raptor. Should be good fun. Please no lag. Fingers crossed. I will cry if this does turn into a lag fest. I'm not sure what happened yesterday. So for those who are kind of joining for the first time, we tried the same event yesterday and it was incredibly laggy. And I was a bit worried it was my internet, which is normally perfectly fine. But then Turin had a stream just after, and he was having the exact same problem. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but it looks like we are good to go. Praise Zeus and all the other gods of the realms. So let's have a little look at Darth Pendragon's forces first. I'm now so suspicious I've left the giant wheel up on the screen, but do scream at me if I do anything stupid. So Verix Reavers, regiment renowned Black Knights, one of the most awesome names in the game and a very cool colour scheme for these guys. For the main battle line we have Skink, I was going to say Skink, I'm so used to playing Lisbon here, Skeleton Spearman, not Skink Spearman, unit of zombies, Cane Wraiths, looks like another unit of zombies and some Graveguard as well to add a little bit of punch to that rather small and probably going to get surrounded infantry force. However, his main power lies in his cavalry here. So we do have some Black Knights, we've already gone over the Verric Reavers, and a unit of Blood Knights with a chevron, which is very, very tasty. Up in the sky we have some Fellbats and a Terrorgeist. Down low we have a Corpse Cart, which will allow this kind of smaller centre pocket to keep fighting for at least a little while. We have a Banshee down on the ground, and up on a horribly disgusting flying mount here, we do have a Necrack Vampire Lord. I'm probably butchering that name there, but he's coming in with Dark Protection, Arcane Conduit, and spell-wise he's gone for Curse of Anir, Raise Dead, Invocation of the Heck, the Purple Sun, which used to be a super frustrating magic spell on tabletop if you were Lizardmen, because it affected your initiative, and they did not have good initiative. We also have a Spirit Leech as well, so a pretty cool build overall. Now for the Empire and the Mighty Noob for Life, hiding in the trees, we do have some Demigryph Knights with Lancers. It looks like we have 2 units of those in fact. For his main line, we have some Greatswords accompanying the Karenberg Greatswords as well. These guys, it looks like, do have Bathe in Blood, giving them a bonus when fighting, and Unbreakable, a very, very cool unit indeed. We have Sigma Suns, who as well are also Unbreakable, so a nice centre pocket here. We have the Gunderman's Surfires, Handgunners, again, another campaign force, which do in fact have Vanguard deploy, which is quite nice. We have some Spearmen to back it all off. For leadership, we do just have a basic general of the Empire on a horse, but he is protected as well by a little captain down here who's particularly eager there to get his hands on their enemy. And it looks like for the most part that could be the majority of the build. We do have Zintler's Reichsguard out on this left flank as well, with Deathjacks pushed forward. These guys are regiment-renowned archers, good at taking down large foes, and of course they have Stalk. We also have the myth, the legend, the mighty Luminarch of Hirsch can do some fantastic burst damage. If he can get a line up on those Terrorgeists, he should do a decent job overall. Overall, 2 super cool builds. It'll be interesting to see how these guys wield them. We'll see some Unbreakable Greatswords versus Unbreakable Greatswords. That would be pretty insane. I am very good, Jade. I think I'm a little bit ill, unfortunately, but we have banned the lag. It is not legal. Exactly. I'm pretty good. I'm a little bit ill, unfortunately, but I am definitely well enough to carry on stream and stuff, so we're all good. Good luck, have fun. Looks like Darth Pendragon is ready. Gonna roll up my sleeves. That's how you know this battle is going to be intense. It's really cool to see some of the campaign units as well you don't often see. Should be very good. Demigryph's going to be pretty key here to running over and helping protect the kind of, you know, more squishy range elements of this Empire force, and the battle does get underway. Both forces are going to be starting to push up. Of course, Vampire counts no long-range artillery or anything themselves. They always end up advancing as quickly as possible. And look at this beautiful no lag. Oh, it's glorious. It's glorious. Luminarch does come in and whack straight away. It hits that Lord, doing some really decent damage, bringing him down to 2,700 health off the bat, which is some very nice value. Balance power, though, already in favour, apparently, of the Empire. So they're saying good luck, have fun. It's always good to see kind of good sportsmanship. That is what I mainly focus on. You may notice my clan tag is DBD, which stands for Death Before Dishonour, which of course is as it sounds. It is that you should rather lose a game before you dishonour yourself by cheating or any of that horrible stuff, and that is something we try to stick to in all of our tournaments. So it looks like the Vampire Lord is had to pop an early Invocation of the Heck here, coming down to almost half health, but he is getting to waste that magic early on. The Deathjack's doing some decent damage to those Fellbats and forcing them off. Not the primary target these guys realistically want to be shooting at, but at the same time it is getting rid of one annoying threat, where these guys are starting to move in. The Luminarch powers up again, trying to fire through the trees here though. Somehow finds its target, weaving through the sticks here. Massive damage on that Lord who's constantly having to heal himself up right now. Nice play here as well, bringing out these cavalry units. Is this the Zintlers? Yes, the Zintlers Reichsguard did push out to finish off those Fellbats who got onto the Deathjacks, but a nice counter charge coming in now by the Verric Reavers, and they're going to have to fall back to this defensive pocket just here. Looks like the Gundamans Surefires are now launching some shots and doing some very effective damage here as the Demigraphs do start to roll up to the front line, trying to protect the smaller and squishier members of the Empire. And a bit of a kind of slow charge there, but the second charge is a little bit nicer, and this is going to go very badly for the Verric Reavers, I believe, who do have regeneration and bonus versus infantry, but they will get torn apart by this cav. Blood Knights, on the other hand, charging in against the Sigma Suns. We do have some Zintlers... God, so many random names you don't normally see. Zintlers Reichsguard, there we go, counter-charging into the Blood Knights. Should put up a pretty decent fight, but will eventually get dragged down, but there's some nice saturation on top of the infantry. Unfortunately for the Vampire Counts, their attack is a little bit kind of drips and drabs. They've managed to get in on the back line with some Black Knights on top of the Luminarch, which is a really fantastic pick here, but their infantry is lagging behind a little bit. I understand the need to get forward and try and shut down as many range units as possible, however, but the second wave needs to arrive as quickly as possible. So we do have a big debuff coming down here by the looks of it. We do have Slippery Pops on the Banshee and the Curse of Anir coming down, and that is the bonus you're going to see from someone having a mage and someone getting unfortunate enough to not have one. In the back lines, Deathjacks are being pulled apart by some summoned zombies. Nice play there by Darth Pendragon. Terrorgeist as well needs to get up in the air, escape this little pocket and come and affect the main battle before these Demigraphs do launch on top of him, but looks like they're a little bit too late here. So nice manoeuvrability overall. In the background, Black Knights are being pulled down by sheer weight of the mighty and heroic Spearmen, but also Zintlers Reichsguard. Those guys have been forced off, allowing the Luminarch free reign to shoot once again. If I was him, I would just constantly pound that Lord as much as possible. Looks like we do have a Purple Sun coming down, doing some really nice work here on the Zintlers and the Spearmen. Another shot coming in. Looks like that one may have been a bit of a hit and a miss. And the General of the Empire has a Scroll of Leeching on him. Didn't affect him too much, and he's getting bullies now in the centre here. So really nice early exchanges for Noob for Life. The Empire are starting to waver a little bit here. Verric Reavers once again charging in onto the Gundam's Sacrifice. Surefires. But Zintlers Reichsguard popping in should be able to drag those guys down. Effective Demigraph charging is going to be needed to help bring down this Terrorgeist and keep the General of the Empire alive, who is starting to get out of there. He is routing now. He's being terrified, but he should be coming back. In the distance, we can see the Vampire Lord going down for a bit of a cheeky cycle charge on the Empire Captain, but he's not too fast, and he's going to chase that good fellow off and away. We do have some Skeleton Spearmen on this right-hand flank who need to get active. Where is the Empire Knight? The Empire Captain? Here he is, or General, sorry. Looks like he has rallied, which is all good news for him. However, this Vampire Lord probably going to come over for a cheeky assassination attempt. So, zombies have popped up on top of these handgunners, but once again, Zintlers Reichsguard are here for protection. They should be able to deal with those guys relatively effectively. Good Demigraph cycle charging into this Terrorgeist, doing some huge damage now, bring it down to about half health. And everywhere else we can see Great Swords holding the line, up to 46 kills on one unit and 38 on the other. These Spearmen really need to get active, come around here and surround the Great Swords where possible. So the Cav doing a fantastic job so far defending their range units, when of course they couldn't really do it with their limited amount of infantry. We do have the Demigraph Knights have pulled back here, waiting to try and assassinate this Lord when they can. Banshee though does hop onto the General of the Empire. Noob for Life a little bit slow to react, so this does eventually pop stand your ground, and in comes the Demigraphs. Banshee a huge problem here, as of course the General does not do magic damage at all. Where is that Luminarch? Here it is. I can hear it winding up here, coming in for a shot. Boom! Straight into that Terrorgeist, doing some fantastic damage here. This Fin may only have one kill, but its value so far has been pretty crazy. But unfortunately, there are no knights to protect him now. He's going to try and escape, but that Terrorgeist is just tearing it to chunks. Down to 218 health, but some Demigraphs do emerge here from the tightly packed formation here of the Empire, doing some decent damage to that big nasty. So it looks like more nastiness coming in here. Oh no, it's just a summon of zombies trying to pin down these gunners and stop them from shooting. Empire Captain rallying with his Demigraph Knights, trying to chase off this Terrorgeist. And they need to keep on this guy, stop him from getting back in the air and start making him crumble. Could be a really nice pick overall. Unfortunately, Deathjack's going to get a little bit of a visit here for the Vampire Lord. I'll try and move them over here and get this Empire Captain down for a bit of protection. Zinless Reichsguard just clearing up zombies at the moment, doing their best, up to 61 kills. And in the main pocket, the Greatswords are slowly being dragged down here. But we do have Sigma Sons as well, 15 of those guys left standing. Graveguard doing a real decent job here, up to 70 kills. And with the help of that Corpse Card, they're overthrowing these elite troops. And finally, these Skeleton Spearmen have been remembered, or tactically, left over to the side to come in late game and try and finish off these rather knackered Greatswords. This is a really close battle. Balance of power is still very even here. We do have Zintler's Reichsguard, though, managing to get a nice surround on the Vampire Lord with help of the Empire Captain. If they can drag down this Vampire Lord, this would be huge. Demigryphs come charging, led here by the Empire General himself, doing huge work, down to 23 health. There is zero chance he's escaping here, and down goes the Vampire Lord. And with that, the balance of power all of a sudden swings heavily in favour of the Empire. That is not only their Lord gone, but all their magic as well. And with that done, there's going to be no more summons. These range units are going to be allowed a lot more kind of time and space to breathe, getting some decent work, and I just can't see the vampires coming back from that. They were in such a strong position as well for a large majority of this game, with the General of the Empire being dragged to such little health. If they'd managed to finish him off or chase him off when he was getting near the edge of the board, this could have certainly been a different game. But in come the heroic knights now charging in. What I would do is just finish off the rest of the forces and then focus down the Banshee at the end, because it's going to be a little bit of a pain to deal with. General of the Empire just chilling on the side here, leading his cavalry in a very medieval fashion here, very old school. I'm liking to see the General on the front line. And the Gundamans Surefire is getting some decent shots now into the rear of these Graveguard, who have fallen. A last stand is starting to take place around the Corpse Guard with some summoned zombies and this Banshee, but unfortunately looks like the rest of their army is starting to crumble. And I think that is going to be GG, so very well played there to Noob for life. Randomizing seems to increase your luck tenfold. What's up, Impractical Jokers? How are you going? Is DBD a clan? Not really. It's kind of a clan tag I've adopted at the moment. I may form it into a clan, but I'm not sure if people will be interested in that, or if it looks a bit bad being in a clan when you are a caster. GG. Those great swords held all day. Those great swords were unbreakable. That is why. So Stormrunner, my good friend, it is your time to shine. If you'd like to join the lobby, the password is 123. And what map are we going to try next? Let us go for a super fun River of Axon, the best map in the game. Sigma is proud. So we are going to change the scoreboard quickly. So, Noob for Life is up 1-0, and we have the mighty Stormrunner entering the field. Stormrunner, which is a really awesome name. So, let's get rid of this and interact with the wheel. So, hopefully you can see the giant wheel on screen. I am begging that is correct. I'd say not being a caster means you can't make a clan. I'd not say that being a clan. Okay, I mean, I may become a clan. We'll see. Glacial Lake, please. Yeah, sure, we can hop to Glacial Lake. We'll do that after this map here, as we did actually have that one on yesterday. So, up first is the Challenger Stormrunner, and he is going to be Dark Elves, by the looks of it, indeed. And Noob for Life, the current king, will be Vampire Counts. The people he has slain will be the ones he is. So, Storm is Dark Elves. And Noob is Vampire Counts. He has become what he once wanted to destroy. Damn Sigma, hail the old ones. I'm in 100% agreement here with Noob for Life. I am a little bit of a Lizman main. GG's indeed there, Palpatine. It was a good game. No, if anything, it could be a good way to get the replays and make the community grow. Well, I will probably consider it then. I like the wood. Oh, yeah. I didn't actually design the the wheel, by the way, a big shout out to Zeus who sent it to me. Someone else had made it, I believe. So I don't know why Wood Elves was on there like that, but I've decided to keep it. Sweet. So let's look at Storm Runner. Storm time to auto. Cool. So let's have a little look at his first auto here. We do have the Raven Heralds, a unit we do not see at all, really, so that could be pretty damn interesting. A couple of Ferroman's Cores and Malekith, 2,300. Does that mean he's on his dragon? I'm not quite convinced. I'm not really a Dark Elf player myself either. So, stick or twist, good sir. Stormrunner's best faction is Dark Elves, so that suits him pretty perfectly. He's going to stick. That is a very good force, decent and elite melee core with some nice range and monstrous elements as well. On to the king. Let's give New for Life a chance to auto as well. So for those people just joining, this is a 250 subscriber special stream. It is King of the Hill, so best of one winner stays on. The current king here is Noob for Life, doing a very close game up against Darth Pendragon. And it is auto-generated armies and auto-generated factions. So they have 3 attempts to auto-gen here. And once you've clicked that button, though, there is no return. You cannot go back. So it's a little bit of a gamble, which is good fun. Oh, yes. He has to keep this, surely. Master Necromancer. I don't think I've ever seen this guy used. Coming in with a really elite Graveguard core, though. Blood Knights, apart from the Lord choice, this is a pretty decent army. Let's ask if he wants to stick or twist. Gonna twist that. Okie dokie. So it's going for number 2 here. Huge elements of Graveguard here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Graveguard, including the Sternsman. And we do also have the Red Duke, a White King, a Vargulf. This is a really decent build, I think. And this will be his last twist if he does go for it. Twist, last one. So he has to stick with this. I don't know if that was necessarily a good choice. He does have a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, which sounds hella gangster. He does have a Banshee, a ton of zombies, some Skeleton Warriors, Graveguards, Black Knights. We do have a nice aerial core here as well, which can be decent for harassing and Verix Reavers. Sweet. Let the madness commence. Madness begin. And we should be good to go. Stick Red Duke OP. He decided to switch. I'm pretty surprised he switched on that one. But this is part of the joy of this type of stream. We can have a little sneak peek and see what kind of goes into the mind of players and what they're doing. Of course, at this moment, they can be using any leftover funds to add items and so forth, and then the game will begin. So you have rules, apart from the attacking rule, which is in play, you can take away spells, because the computer will always give you the max amount of spells possible. You can take those away and use that money to fund items instead, because they will not normally give you items. I'm in agreement here. I'm not sure if that is the greatest army, but that is part of the joy of this type of stream. I agree with Raptor there. Cool, man. Well, I'll definitely consider it. I will probably get involved with that then. Obviously, running the channel and kind of the Discord does take up a lot of my time, but I think I could probably run a clan as well at the same time. And if you guys do want to get involved, by the way, in future events such as this one, just want a heads up when my videos are coming out, or just want to chat to a cool group of people, do feel free to hit the Discord link down in the description below. No, curse lag, go away. Go away. We don't serve you here, lag. And serve your kind. Looks like it should start to sort itself out. So we'll go through the armies. It's nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday, so I'm hoping this will start to sort itself. So for the Dark Elf forces, their infantry corps does consist of Witch Elves mixed in with Black Ark Corsairs. Looks like we also have some Bleak Swords here as well. We have the Black Guard of Nagarond. No. Lag, what are you doing? What are you doing? The first game was absolutely perfect, so I have no idea what is happening. I think this is a CA issue. I know Turing was struggling with this yesterday as well. If worse comes to worse, we will just have to turn this into a quick battle stream. But I really want to get this stream kind of sorted and going. So give it a couple of minutes to see if it sorts itself out while we go through the rest of the forces. So we do have, oh, looks like he's teleporting around a little bit. So we have the Black Guard of Nagrons helping us support this infantry corps. We have a couple units of Dark Riders, which are a nice fast unit. Raven Heralds up in the sky with their repeated crossbows. These guys are a Regiment of Renowned unit. Very, very cool, but not often picked. They're just not too good. 2 Ferromanticores up in the sky. And then for Leadership Corps, we do in fact have, is this a Death Hag? I believe. Ooh, we have a little Death Hag down here. You can tell her difference because she is a foot taller than all other Witch Elves. We then have Malekith just on foot, coming in with a ton of spells, no doubt. Does have Gaze of Malice, Soul Stealer, Word of Pain, and Chillwind. Looks like the lag has sorted itself out, which is nice to see. Then we have the Vampire Counts as well. Leading the forces are 3 units of zombies, which is the the backbone to any strong vampire build. We do have a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord just on foot here, chilling by himself, looking very, very glorious, however. Bringing a bucket ton of spells, Heart Piercer, Helm of Discord, which can be particularly useful, Sword of Anti-Heroes, and then Wind of Death, Raise Dead, Valhalf's Dance Macabre, and also Invocation of Nahek. Now for his infantry corps, looks like he is just deploying all in the trees over here, not a bad shout. Previously stated zombies, Skeleton Warriors, the Regiment Round Skeleton Warriors as well, and a couple of units of, oh no, 1 unit of Graveguard, some Spearmen, some Direwolves in the back line who will be relatively useful, trying to hop on top of Shades and so forth. We have some big monsters in the Corpse Cart and the Vargulf, and up in the sky, a nice range corps of 2 units of Vargeists. Down on the ground as well, we have a couple of units of Cav. We have Black Knights and also Verix Reavers, the Regiment Renowned version, who we've already seen used to great effect in Game 1. And then just for leadership, we do have the Banshee as well. So, lag is real. Looks like it's sorted itself. Just as I say that, it starts to lag a bit again. What is going on, CA? Please work. I do apologise for the lag. This happened yesterday, and I'm determined to not let it happen again. And then it came back and went off again. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes. We'll try this game and see how it goes. Vampire Coast is incredibly strong. And Zeus's the best army is, yeah, definitely them as well. Wait, Impractical Jokers, are you Zeus in disguise? Are you Zeus in disguise? I am super suspicious now. Okay, the lag seems to sort itself out and then break down. Looks like he is ready, and it seems to have stopped itself. So we'll see how this battle goes, and I have to judge it on here. Quick battles were completely fine, so after yesterday's stream collapsed, I actually just immediately hopped on to a quick battle, and it worked perfectly. So I did some games earlier today up against Ninja, did a little best of 5, and it was all working fine. So we can try someone after Stormrunner, but I've had him on the channel multiple times, and he's completely fine. Ugh, lag. Ugh. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes and see if it works after this last one. If not, we will drop and try rehosting and stuff. I'll go downstairs as well, see if my housemate has already started doing something on the internet, like downloading anything or so forth, which may have made it all of a sudden collapse, because it was perfectly fine earlier. Maybe Stormrunner's like to join. We will try it out. We will try it out. I do apologise for this. Stormrunner's played on the channel loads before though and never had any lag issues, so I don't think it is the random people joining. This happened in 2 separate lobbies yesterday as well. And I know other YouTubers were really struggling. I think Toon ended up having to do his one off, kind of not on live stream, and then post the videos up afterwards. So I think it's most likely a CA issue, but I played earlier today and it was working fine. These guys are starting to move, but we will see how this goes. Give it a couple of minutes. Ugh, nah, it's not going to work. Burn some essence and get the bad juju out. That is the right idea here, noob, but It seems it worked perfectly fine all of a sudden and then collapsed again, which is bizarre. But guys, doing some nice slow motion animations right here. We're not going to be able to, so we'd get someone else in apart from Stormrunner, unfortunately, most likely. And, oh, it's working fine. What is this? What is this madness? And then it stops again. This is stupid. So, it looks like it's starting to sort itself out, hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't think you can really blame CA since it's player-to-player connection. That is true. Quick battles as fine as well. This is so weird. So it must be on my end, I assume, but I'm connected directly into LAN, and of course I've done, like, I don't know how many videos I've done. I've like 150 videos maybe, many of them being streams, and it's always been fine, so I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like it's sorted itself, though, for now. You can see the Manticores are both looking pretty happy up on the sky here. So we will let the battle carry on for now and see if this manages to hold up. All the skeletons are pushing forward now through the trees, using them as cover, which is really nice play here by Noob for Life. Of course, the Dark Elves can bring bolt throws and so forth, so deploying in the trees and moving forward is just a nice way of getting closer to your opponent. Up in the sky, we do have 2 units of the Vargeists. Going to be swooping around, probably trying to hop on top of those Bolt Fiends and other squishy targets, but unfortunately that is the Black Guards and Nagron defending the back, plus 2 Ferromanticores will give those guys a big run for their money. Nice shots coming into these zombies, who are Silver Chevron though, so they are designed to eat those shots for days here, and the vampires do continue their never-ending march to eternal glory. Unfortunately, the Regiment Renowned Skeleton Warriors are now the ones taking the shots, but they do have shields, so they won't mind too much. They're still pretty cheap and cheerful, even for Regiment of Renown, and it looks like the game is running very smoothly now, which is good to see. Manticores, it's going to be interesting to see what they go for target-wise. They could try 2v1 in the Corpse Cult, or maybe even going after the Vargulf, but could be pretty risky. Black Knight wrapping around this left-hand flank, looking for some tasty targets, as the front line does get underway here. Zombies going all the way through the centre pocket and straight onto the Bolt Fiends, stopping these guys from firing. Really nice play here from Noob for Life, pushing them through, and it looks like we're most likely going to be getting a summon in the back. So more zombies as well, going to be trapping in the Bolt Fiends where possible. Ferromanticores are responding here by jumping down on top of the Verex Reavers and forcing these guys off. The Shades have been discovered, unfortunately for them, and been completely run over here by a glorious undead charge. Over in the main fight, it looks like the Vargeists are swooping around the outside here. Don't want to land anywhere near these Black Guards, however, but grinding out the front line while these guys sit at the back is a pretty good choice. Direwolves have also hopped in on top of the Bolt Fiends. But the blood, oh, we've got a bit of a Lord fight going down here as well. Malekith is going to be a beastly combatant here. And as you can see, he has dropped a fat Soul Sealer, gathering so many troops here. But he is getting the snot beaten out of him a little bit by this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. And we can see the fly units using their mobility over here to try and rescue this part of the formation. Getting a really nice rear attack into these Black Ark Corsairs and Dark Riders, who they should be able to pull apart very, very effectively. Over in the distance, it looks like the Verex Reavers did get isolated here by the double Feral Manticore, who did just about manage to save the Shades. They are down to 34 models, however. Nice shots coming in by the Raven Heralds. Unfortunately, they don't do too much damage, and I know Chillwind coming down as well. Getting some fantastic damage here on all of these forces, and a Gaze of Malice coming down as well. Red Guard being sent flying here, which is always good to see those guys falling down. So, Raven Herald's trying to go toe-to-toe with some Vargeists. Probably not going to go too well for those guys. You can see the size difference here, and size doesn't always matter in life, guys. But in this situation, it certainly does. You can see a couple of them on the ground, even feasting on the slain here. Those Shades could really be run over here by some Black Knights, but it looks like Noob Life only just recognised this. He's going to be charging in, but unfortunately, these guys are going to make it in. Leadership minus 31. Their health is deteriorating pretty fast, but they are going to make it in with a nice lancing charge there. So we're tearing apart those Shades, and the rest of the fight is basically a huge blob battle over on this side, which normally you would say favours the Vampire Counts. It really suits their style of play, but with the Black Guard of Nagarond here, they can do some serious work to pretty much everything on the field. And 2 Feral Manticores, that is no small amount of punch coming in right there. Do have the Vargulf, though, doing pretty good as a bodyguard for the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, And they've managed to take down Malekith, who is running for the hills here, down to 130 health. Hopefully he will rally for the Dark Elves here, as a fat Soul Stealer right here would be so good, especially that magic damage on the Banshee. In the far side, it looks like the Black Knights have managed to carve up most of the outskirts of the formations. These guys could collapse now on top of these Dark Riders and finish them off as well. And it looks like the Dark Elves are just being ground down here, and the current king probably going to hold on to his crown a little while longer, but never count out the Black Guard of Nagrand, nor Malekith. He rallies even with like 0 health. It is ridiculous. I've seen him rally with honestly like 10 health before. So if he can get back to the battle now and drop a Soul Stealer and heal up, this battle could turn on its head. However, there are some marauding Black Knights, danger close to him, and he thinks, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm just going to swagger myself out of here, and that is going to be game. Don't forget to like the stream, indeed. Don't think you can blame C8. That is true. It just seems to be happening on multiple people's streams, so it's a little bit odd. Malekith doesn't have it on him. Yeah, Malekith's slowly getting dragged down there. How are you doing today, Zeus, as well? For those who don't know, Gunda Plays is the mighty Lord Zeus. So really nice play overall. And the king continues his reign. So let's change the score. So Noob for Life up to 2 now. And the next challenger is going to be Suave. So if you would like to pop in, bro. Password is 123. And the lobby is just called, I think, Ducky King of the Hill. Something pretty obvious of what it is. And then we will get up. Oh, let's see. Got a couple of messages on Discord. Looks like we're all good. So Zeus, I will quickly read through the list right now. So we've already had Darth Pendragon and Stormrunner, both being defeated by the mighty Noob for Life. We have Suave, Papa Palpatine, Wu-Tank, the mighty Lord Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Dessa, and Raptor. Which can... Yeah, so it looks like he didn't have a spellcaster, which can be unfortunate, unfortunately, but it does happen. So do I have Suave as a friend on here? Yes, I do. So we'll send him a little invite. And the map will be... let's do... what map are people feeling? Oh, Glacial Lake. There we go. There you go, Impractical Joker. We will do your map. And let's go through. Oh. So let's get up the mighty Spinner of Doom, which is right here. Boop. There you guys go. So Suave will be playing dun, 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 Lizard Men. Yes, my favourite faction. Let's give it a good old spin for the king as well. So it will be Lizard Men versus Tomb Kings. Normally a pretty even matchup in my opinion. So Lizard Men for Suave. And Tomb Kings for the king. And then we will let them see their armies. Thank you guys for sticking with us as well through those lag problems. It did look like it sorted itself out, so not sure what that was all about. But we are back in action. If that happens again today, I will have a quick, well, I'll have a best look into it that I can possibly can. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying, please do consider giving a big old thumbs up and subscribing and all that good stuff. We've recently gathered a lot of new subscribers, so pleasure to meet you guys if you are in chat today. This isn't right. What a counter spin. I think you got that backward, boss. New Life wanting to play Lizard Men. Suave if Suave time to auto. This isn't right. He's so upset. This is going to be a bit of like a Vietnam flashback. He's having to kill his own troops there. So, looks like we do have some pretty cool units here. A couple of units of Blessed Saurus Warriors and some Blessed Temple Guard as well. An Ancient Salamander holding the line, Skink Chief and Red-Crested Skink Chief leading the forces, but no magic. So I'm assuming he's going to switch here. Stick or twist. Although we do have a big, fat Ancient Stegodon with Engine of the Gods, but he is going to go for the Twister. Boom, still no magic, unfortunately, but apart from that, a pretty decent build. Coming in with a Stegodon, Basildon, a nice amount of cavalry, and the beast himself, Krokgar. Stick or twist. So this would be his last time. Does he risk it to try and get a spellcaster? But it could, you know, be complete disaster and get absolute garbage. Apart from that, where here you have a decent, powerful Lord. Hand of the Gods absolutely destroys Tomb King Lords as well. And we do have a caster, so probably best to switch in the end. It does get to Henowin here. A Skink Chief. Decent mixture of little skinks mixed in with some more elite Saurus warriors as well. We even have some Blessed Chameleon skinks here. Umbral Tide, one of my favourite units. Ancient Salamander, overall, pretty decent. Sweet. On to the King. Let's pop over to New for Life now. Oh, is the wheel still up? Oh, thank you. Luckily, we didn't miss the battle. Boop. Luckily, my glorious explanations there would have helped you out. I'm turning into Turin. Yeah, sorry about that, but it is gone. Oi, blocker, it's done, it's done. So, New for Life is first pick here. It does come with a Tomb King and a Necrotect. Apart from that, decent mixture of Skeleton Spearmen, mixed in with Tomb Guard, some ranged forces as well, and a big old Necro Sphinx. I really like these knights, actually, the sneaky snakes. They do some decent work. Stick or twist. Has New for Life twisted every single time? Can I remove spells and add items? Yep. That is the only thing you can do. Look at your check, I did. Oh, players before you, man. So you got this game, then Papa Palpatine, Wu-Tang, and yourself. Which should be all good. I've seen you guys. There's a bit of a delay, unfortunately, from what you guys are seeing and from what I see. So you'll be a little bit behind. But don't worry, I am looking. So yes, we have this game up first. And then we have Papa Palpatine after this. Wu-Tang, Lord Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Dissa, and Raptor. Looks like he's contemplating it. Hard, but I need more memes. Okie dokie, looks like he's going to switch one more time here. And he can do one final one. We have Cetra the Imperishable. I feel like Lord Zeus will get a mighty Lord Zeus on himself by seeing this big boy in action. Tomb Prince, we have some Skeleton Warriors mixed in there as well. We have some special Sirens Legion of the Netherworld. I'm going to go for the final twist, but he's going to mix it up. So no worries about this. Cool, cool. And he's gone for the final twist every single time here, which is super risky, but we'll see what he's going to get. No worries, man. So, his forces do include Cetra the Imperishable, a Leech Priest of Death, some Skeleton Warriors mixed in with Nekakar Warriors as well to give him a little bit more meat in that main battle line. Yes, magic, finally. We do have some Tomb Guard with Halberd, decent amount of Skirmishing as well, some Chariots and Cav, 2 Yashopti, which would be pretty decent in this matchup, and some Knights with Halberds. So let's get this cracking. Welcome, welcome. If you have just joined, I know you've got people jumping in and out all the time. This is a King of the Hill, but it's a little bit of a special because we hit 250 subs. We thought we'd do something a little different. So we do have a mighty Wheel of Doom, which will decide which faction you play. And then you can autogen, so autogen armies, random factions, lots of stupid and silly madness. Sweet. Let's get rolling. And pop up. Just having a little bit of a drink to keep my throat from getting too dry so I can still speak to you guys. They're basically Cape of Guard, but 80% physical distance because they're ghost. Hell yes. Spooky ghosts. Should be good to see. It's like New for Life, just figuring out which spells he wants to take away to add into items. But apart from that, we will be underway playing on Glacial Lake here. Was suggested here by Impractical Jokers, I believe. And in we go. So, fingers crossed, no lag. It did seem to subside all of a sudden, so I don't know what's causing that. It seems a bit random. It is very stormy here, so perhaps that is the problem. But it hasn't seemed to affect us in the past. We do load up nice and quickly. So, I would not like to think the reason two armies decide to meet in this location, completely surrounded by freezing mountains, it'd be an absolute drag getting your army here and fighting in it. I don't think so. I would much rather just chill out on Altdorf outskirts or somewhere where I can just simply walk home after the battle is done. However, we do have a nice big and kind of chaos corrupted hole down here, which sounds a little bit more dodgy than it probably should, which does work as a nice bit of blocker, and you can do some nice flanking. Apart from that, though, it is straight to business as you hack and slash each other very, very quickly here. So let's have a little look here at the Challenger, Suave making his debut on the channel, so let's get some support for him going. We do have some skink cohorts mixed in with Saurus Warriors with spears, some with shields as well, Legion of Chiqua, and Temple Guard in that front line. Very tanky and beefy line indeed. We have some Blessed Chameleon Skinks alongside the Umbral Tide. Rage around Salamanders do fantastic damage against large foes. Really good up against those big constructs, doing that fire damage. And of course do have Stalk. We have an Ancient Sally as well. We will call her Susan here. Just flexing her wrist there and looking back and forth at her puppies. She will do some very good damage to the infantry as long as she is protected. We do have a Skink Chief on foot here. I actually quite like bringing these guys with no abilities and no items at all. They can be an absolute pest and get into the back line very comfortably. We have some Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bowlers, with Tehenwin up in the sky, Bryn, Flock of Doom, Manticore Summon, and Wyton's Wild Form. So looking pretty good overall. Looks like we have another unit as well, Pohawks Sentinels on the right hand side. Now, for the Tomb Kings, in the front line we have King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion. We also have Skeleton Warriors and a ton more with spears as well. 2 units of Nekakar Warriors will do a decent job at hacking down skinks and will do okay against Saurus as well. We have Tomb Guard with Halberd in the back line. Bodyguards for the Don, the Lord Zeus incarnate, etc. the Imperishable. Bringing loads of different nastiness here. Oh, let's get on to him. We have the Blessed Blade of Petra, Wrath of Petra, is big fan of Petra, Protection, Curse Blades, all that good nasty stuff. We also have a Leech Priest of Death here, coming with a huge spell kit, including, oh god, that is so many spells, maybe he forgot to take some of them off. Let's get in here and pop on you. So we do have the Purple Sun, Soul Blight, Doom and Darkness, Spirit Leech, and Aspect of the Dread Knight. We have some sneaky snakes in the back as well with halberds. These guys do so much work against cav units. We also have Tunis Ushopti and some Skeleton Archer Chariots. Looks like over in the distance we have Skeleton Horseman Archers as well. Probably going to get eaten though by Pohawks Sentinels. Cool. Looks like we are lag free, which is what we like to see. So we will get this underway. Yes, there is no range for the Tomb Kings, which is going to be a super struggle up against the Ancient Salamander and the Umbral Tide here, but Noob for Life is king for a reason. I'm sure he'll show his teeth here and make it as good a game as possible. Fire Leech Bowlers coving in some shots here into these Nekakar Warriors, doing some very healthy damage straight off the bat. Pohawk Sentinels are just going to be feasting on some Horseman Archers. Queen and Skinks doing their best to be a pain in the butt, doing those 360 no-scopes as they run away, poisoning people and slowing them down. Umbral Tide now firing a load of shots. Once again, aiming for Nekakar Warriors. Probably should be popping on top of the Ushopti, but still, damage is damage. Might as well get it in while these guys are advancing here. I feel like Lizmen in general are going to be a good Autogen army to kind of obtain and get, because they're so good in many matchups and they have so many units which are kind of multi-purpose here. So, Umbral Tide still firing in at Nekakar Warriors. Oh, looks like maybe they've switched onto these shops now, but getting a few missed efforts. Tomb Kings just trying to close the distance as fast as possible, which I do not blame them at all, and is definitely the way they need to play this. Try and win the engagement and then force off the skirmishers. Tehenwin just rolling forward. These chariots need to start moving up a little bit. Umbral Tide do fall back. I do hear a Spirit Leech coming down onto Tehenwin. Umbral Tide and Salamander pulling back behind the Skink cohort, and Legion of Chakra as well moving in to deal with these Ushopti. Nice pick here, waiting to see where his opponent pits his big forces and then countering with his anti-large forces. Temple Guard though going toe-to-toe with some Skeleton Warriors. Do have Shield of Chiqua popped on these guys as well, but it's not really needed. There is no range damage coming in. And Skeleton Horseman Archers running over some Skinks in the back, and they could pop on top of these Umbral Tide and shut them down. That'd be fantastic value. The Skinks Chief should probably head over here and try and protect those guys a little bit. Lots of long-range firepower coming in on the Tomb Guard, just dragging those guys down so quickly here, doing some really decent work indeed. Looks like the Skinks in the front line though have been dragged down, but a Flock of Doom is a nice counter, trying to protect the Legion of Shakwa as much as possible. We do have the Coil Extensions dropping their rocks in, doing some fantastic work on these Tomb Guard, who've taken an absolute hammering so far. I do hear a Manticore summon as well coming in. Here he is. Wonder who's going to go over to. And a Purple Son of Death does come down, shredding these Temple Guards here, down to below half health. Cetra getting in there and doing the ultimate Lord's work. Going to be dragging these guys down relatively effectively here. Backline has been completely broken here though. Lizardmen need to be careful and protect this. There's so much value still in the Umbral Tide and Ancient Salamander. Use their pace, pull them back, yeah, bring Tenwin back, bring the Pohawk Sentinels back and protect these guys. You do not want to lose them early. They're your win card basically here. There is no range that should realistically be able to catch them. Fall back, do that damage, help out your front line. Pterodon Riders doing decent damage overall though. Looks like they're helping to finish off these Tomb Guards. So much kind of effort though and damage has been thrown at these guys. And the rest of the Tomb King's army is not doing too bad. The battle though is heavily in favour of the Lizardmen as we speak. The Umbral Tide have been captured here and should probably be chased off here by the Skeleton Horseman Archers. Chase them and finish them off. And where is Sally? Sally has managed to get out of the way. Luckily up to 98 kills. Doing some really good work. Are you going to be firing? Nope, seems like you're obstructed at the moment, so we can't see you vomit fire up at anyone, unfortunately. These Pterodons been an absolutely pain all game, just in that consistent firepower. King of the Catcher Scorpion Legion does take a Salamander shot to the face, although it looks like it actually killed a load of Saurus Warriors instead there, but these guys are starting to break now. And even with that nice backline pressure by Noob for Life, now finally shutting down the Ancient Salamander as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this through. If anyone can do it, it is Cetra. Looks like he is running away from these Temp Guard. They've got some really nice spells on these guys, but they are so meaty and tanky. And still 48 of these guys left alive, even though they have relatively low health. Will allow them to fight for a decent amount of time, up to 69 kills as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Henwin getting in here, helping finish off the shops with a nice Flock of Doom. Cetra going for that snipe onto Henwin, which is probably his best bet here. The rest of his forces converging as well. But Henwin, he's having none of it. Going to fly back up into the sky here and get to safety. Chameleon Skink firing in as well, doing that poison damage. Ancient Salamander has been chased off here in the distance, going to be feasted upon by these sneaky snakes. The Skink Chief, though, making them pay for it with his little darts, but they can probably roll over and kill him as well. I just don't see any way that Cetra is going to be able to pull this back. If he can maybe isolate the Temp Guard and finish them off, and allow those sneaky snakes to come back, catch Tehenwin when he's on the ground, they will delete him very quickly. A lot of people don't know Tehenwin is super glass cannon, so squishy, I get him killed all the time. We can get some nice close-up shots there. Looks like the Temple Guard are focused now on finishing down this Leech Priest, who, if she has a Purple Sun left, dropping this right here would be huge value and damage. Looks like the Saurus Spears, though, are starting to head over towards the sneaky snakes, who do decide very wisely here to fall back, try and lap around and get to Cetra. Looks like a Manticore has been summoned though, which is a bit of a disaster here. Going to probably push the balance power even more in favour of the Lizardmen. The Pterodons have run out of ammo though, so some cycle charging does need to start to happen. Manticore should pop down here on Cetra now and just do some damage while you can. Temple Guard doing their best here, up to 70 kills, down to only 800 health though, but yeah, in comes that Manticore. And I believe Cetra probably is going to perish here. Sneaky Snakes do rally to his cause, trying to hold the line. And a summon of you Shopti from the back pocket there, keeping this game going here. Really nice play by Noob Fly, fighting to the death. He's got the big fight he wanted committed, with all the snakes being able to take down the Pterodons and so forth. But is it going to be a little bit too little too late? Temple Guard have broken, are starting to rout from the field now. Snakes hopping on top of these Pterodon Riders. Shield of Shakwa has been popped, but that's not, of course, going to help them at all here. Cetra desperately fighting with his homies here, back to back. The Ushop's doing a great job at just tearing up as many Saurus as they can. But Cetra's starting to waver here. Blessed Blade of Ptry is still active. He does start to rally though. Balance of power still quite heavily in favour of the Lizardmen. If this Manticore does start to disappear though, perhaps, question mark, this can be turned around. Pterodons have floated back onto the air, but they need to get cycle charging. It's vital that they stay in this engagement. Magic resistance has popped up as well, so they're doing all the buffs he physically can. Pterodons do come swooped in. Nope, they decide not to, they do dummy back out. Unfortunately, the Shop to Summon is starting to dissipate here, and down these guys go very soon. It looks like the Manticore is going to fall first. These guys are not long for the world. Very nice attempted comeback here. One Purple Sun, perhaps, on this huge blob of Saurus Warriors could turn the game, rout those guys off, and bring it down to a kind of hero-on-hero fight here. The Shopsy pushing their way through, trying to get onto the Pohawk Sentinels and do damage where they can before they disappear. But I do hear the glorious smashing of glass these guys make as their souls are ripped from their bodies. And once they go back into the underworld. So Tempguard still fighting strong, even with only 17 models left, dragging down those knights who are crumbling. Balance power pushing this towards army losses now. Cetra and his very, very loyal Lich Priest of Death here, trying desperately to hold the line. The camera is shaking like mad as we try and zoom in there, and there's just no way, surely not. What a game though. GG by Suave, he's a confident fellow right here. Does have the curse popped on him indeed, maybe a character assassination. But to anyone, he's still a decent melee combatant himself and will do a lot of damage back. So down goes Cetra, he does in fact perish, and the Lizardmen have the day. We have a new king. I do not serve, I roll. Necronites can win versus Temple Guard with a rear charge. It's pretty tough for them. Here comes the sun, do. If he had one more sun left there, that may have managed to turn it, but unfortunately he used his Winds Magic up by that point. Super close game. So up next, Papa Palpatine. It is your time to shine, my friend. If you'd like to hop in, the lobby password is 123. Was surprised, no big dinos. Well, salamanders and ancient salamanders, they're not little doggos, they're fairly big boys. But good luck to the new king, so let's change the scoreboard up. It is, in fact, Suave, number 1, starting off his reign as king. New Life, though, going for 2 games unbeaten, which is very nice. Papa P is in next. And we will wait to get the big wheel up. Hop. And here he is. Hey, man. So, what map are we going to do next? We are saving the horror maps for a little bit later in the stream, so do not worry, Raptor, you will get your chance. Let us go. Pillar of Bone. Hello there. Cool. So let's get up the Wheel of Doom. Make sure there's no questions in chat. Looks like we're all good. The sun rotates around Cetra because it is smaller than Cetra. Maybe than Cetra's ego, man. Like, I can see him wrapping around that. I do love Cetra, though. He's pretty damn cool. So, hopefully you guys can see the wheel again. And Suave, the current king. Who will he get? Let's give it a couple of good spins to really get it cracking. And we have Greenskins. Perfect. I was going to land on Toon Kings there. So Suave in charge of the glorious hordes of the Greenskins. And Papa Palpatine is going to be Dark Elves. So Greenskins versus Dark Elves. Just remember to take down the wheel time this time. So Suave, Greenskins, Papa P. Was it Dark Elves? Ah, hang on a sec. I need to get the wheel back up. I literally have the memory of a dying potato. Yes, it is Dark Elves. Good. So we'll do Papa Palpatine first. Papa P to auto first. The Wheel of Doom! Thank you, by the way, for Lord Zeus, also known as Gunda Plays in the chat, for hitting me up with the wheel. Really good idea. Managed to get it working for this stream as well. Wheel removed. Perfect. So, we can see Papa Palpatine's first build here, coming in with some decent amounts of ranged firepower. Manticores as well. Doomfire Warlocks, Supreme Sorcerers of the Beast. Not the worst build in the world. Stick or twist, my friend. Be interesting to see what he goes for here. I would probably twist this one. There's quite a lot of range elements to protect there, not too much combat. But again, you've got guaranteed magic, which is something you cannot take for granted here. But yes, hope you guys are enjoying this format. It should be a pretty fun little format just for the special here. Looks like he is going to twist. comes in with, oh, this would be pretty damn cool. Got a couple units of Cold One Dread Knights, a unit you don't see too often. A little bit of a range core as well, but at the same time, got Harganeth Executioners, a master to deal with any large giants and so forth which come in, and the Supreme Sorceress of Dark. Stick or final twist? I would probably stick with that just because I would want to use the Cold One Knights because they remind me of my Blessed Lizard Men. He's going to stick with it though. Awesome. Suave, you're up. Almighty King. Let's see what Suave gets. Hopefully Snarsneck, fingers crossed. Boom, we do in fact have Azag, boo, but still a much more competitive pick. A pretty cool front line here of Orc Boys mixed in with Savage Orcs, the 8 League Loonies, some Black Orcs as well. Not a bad build at all, to be honest. Nice artillery as well. I can see him sticking with this. Stick or twist. Maybe I'm just too generous with all the units. I'd always just be sticking on my first faction each time. I heard Supreme Sorcerer of Dark, damn right. He is going for the twist. And we have some more little gobbos in here. Once again, Azag leading the forces, but a giant as well can do some decent work itself. Stick or twist or final. Is he going to push it all the way for his final one? He's had a wizard every single time. Is he going to switch and be stuck with Grimgor on foot? Which he has to be on foot, I suppose, with no magic ability. But he is going to stick. Awesome. So we'll be good to go. GG Greenskins got this. Early shouts there. Dread Knights are way too overpriced, unfortunately. I feel like there's kind of a similar problem with Horned Ones. Horned Ones are a bit more viable, however. The Mighty Dread Knights will carry. They will do decent in this matchup, I think. They can. Cav in general is pretty good against Greenskins. I will beat you with 30 chariots for your insolence. I'm sorry. Almighty Cetra, please forgive me. So we are popping into Pillar of Bone. Pretty fun map. Have some good memories on here of taking down some very elite opponents. I did some sneaky stabbings once up against Poison Ducky. He's a really cool dude and a friend of the channel. By hiding out in these trees here with Durfu, load of Tree King and War Dancers, and dragging down some very pesky vampire counts. Nice little drink there. Might be a good point at some point to try a similar build as this, or similar format, but the king sticks with his army until he's defeated, whereas the others get to autogen. Gives them a little bit of an advantage, as they can try and autogen a counter as much as possible. But yes, we are in the lands of the Greenskins by the looks of it for the most point. Pillar of Bone does kind of give off a Greenskin vibe. We can see some villagers in the distance as well. So Greenskins trying to defend their home turf, but we'll start with Papa Palpatine, the challenger here, leading the mighty forces of Dark Elves. So for his main battle line, we have Dread Spears mixing with Harganeth Executioners, some Black Ark Corsairs, 2 of those in fact, who are a crossbreed unit, of course, with hand bows themselves. Nice Cav contingent as well. Dark Riders with shields, Cold One Dread Knights Silver Chevrons, and some Cold One Dread Knights Bronze Chevron here. Very cool units that you do not get to see anywhere near as much as I'd like to. Look at these boys. They look pretty damn awesome. With some Dark Riders with repeater crossbows as well. And up in the skies, the Crows of Cain, regiment-renowned Harpies, who I believe have the hunger. Let's go have a little quick look here while these guys are setting up. What do you have? Crow first replenishes hit points. Okay, yeah. Which is what we suspected. We have a Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic here up in the sky. Going to be bringing Soul Stealer, Power of Darkness, an Opal Amulet, Arcane Conduit, all that good stuff. She is, of course, on top of a very glorious and pretty armoured Manticore there. So, pretty fun build overall. Bolt Fiends as well in the back lines for some range damage. Let's have a little look at the Greenskins. We do have a mighty giant here up on this flank. Look at this guy. He looks scary similar to me in real life if you just added a few feathers and a little beak. So he's going to be chilling out there. We have a couple units of Savage Orcs as well, making up a large side of this right flank. Then we have the big boys, the elite of the elite. We have some Goblins protecting some Night Goblins. We do have Night Goblin Archers. And then a ton of Orc Boys mixed in with Night Goblins as well all around. Another unit of Savage Orcs as well. We have some Squig Herds as well, triple bronze chevron. These are basically giant meatballs with teeth that bounce towards you and consume your soul. We have the Hammer of Gork as well. Sure, Mork will not be pleased that Gork has been blessed over him here, but pretty decent artillery piece in general. Of course, it is the regiment renowned Rocklobber. We also have Azag the Slaughterer, the mad, not prince I suppose, the mad orc I guess, himself, on top of his wyvern, who as you can see, his mouth is dripping with poison ichor there. He of course has brought the War, Fate of Buna, the Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, and Aspect of the Dread Knight. So let's get this battle underway. So also some Orc Boar Boy Biggins as well. Should be pretty good fun, so let's see what the Rocklobber is firing at. It is in fact launching some shots now straight into these Dark Riders and doing some pretty good contact off the bat. A few of those horses not getting back up again. Some archers as well firing in. Looks like he didn't know those were there. Of course they have Stalk. These guys taking a little bit of pounding, but nothing too drastic here. And at least they now know of their little trap with the Night Goblin archers. In the back though, we do have some Dark Riders swooping down from the high ground. So well deployed, I did not even see them pop down on top of the Hammer of Gork. And they may be able to shatter this guy off the bat, which would be fantastic play by Palpatine. Has managed to break them, and they're relatively close to the board, but he really needs a shatter here to force these guys off. Dark Riders managed to escape as well, pretty much unharmed. Really great play here by Palpatine, coming out swinging. So we are all good. In the back, we still have Hargath Executioners being kept in deep reserve here, probably trying to hide from the Fist of Gork, or Hammer of Gork, sorry. Dark Riders, once again, trying to swoop around and hop on top of these guys. They have managed to get back onto their equipment. Azag, though, trying to pick these guys off where they can. That's going to be really key if he can shut this down. Archers are now loosening some shots into the Black Ark Corsairs and Dark Riders here, but these guys should be able to fire back and hop into combat. On the right-hand side, two Cold One Dread Knights are flooding in down here. Looks like they're going to try and power in. Nope, they're going to be falling back a bit. Squig Herds do okay damage against Cav just because of their armor piercing. In the back line, unfortunately, those Dark Riders were caught by a combination of the Orc Boy Biggins and also Azag. So the Hammer of Gork is still active. Cold One Dread Knight's going to be swooping down. He'll charge into the flank of this formation here. He'll be doing some fantastic damage off the bat. The second unit can probably turn and engage now. It looks like Black Ark Corsairs trying to trade fire with the Night Goblin Archers. Probably better just to close the gap down. We have some suicidal Dark Riders charged directly down the gullets there, trying to hit the Hammer of Gork, who's repositioned very oddly here. The war has finally been popped now, allowing these Night Goblins to push through with brave intent here, trying to get on top of these pesky Dread Spears and their ranged friends. We have some whirling fanatics coming in as well, doing some decent damage. Harpies floating over with the Supreme Sorceress, who need to do a decent amount of work here to keep the Dark Elves functioning. Nice pick on the side though. Cold One Dread Knights have managed to do a decent amount of damage, but they're currently fighting souped up goblins, which you cannot underestimate these guys. Do some really great damage. Looks like we also have a Spirit Leech coming in, plus a rear charge from Azag. These guys are really paying the price. The other unit, however, managing to quite comfortably get rid of this Squig Herd. In the back line, Black Ark Corsairs is going to be charging some Night Goblins for some nice hand-to-hand. They should be able to carve them up relatively effectively here with their dual-wielding blades. And as for the main engagement, we do have the Master trying his best up against a Giant. Now, this guy is anti-large, but he's completely surrounded by Savage Orcs, and alone, a Giant still hits ridiculously hard. He doesn't care if you have anti-large, he's still going to thump you with his club. And it looks like the man who's actually designed to kill monsters is terrified and going to be running for the hills. Now, where is that second lord? Where's the Dark Elf Lord? Am I being a little blind? There we go. Feasting upon some Night Goblin archers here in the centre. Nice pickup. Going to be tearing these guys apart. Haven't seen too much magic being used yet. The Crows of Cain have popped on top of, once again, looks like the Hammer of Gork crew. Now going toe-to-toe with some Orc Boar Boy Biggins, who aren't particularly good in combat in general. They're just pretty weak cav, in my opinion. They're just far too slow. Nice charge bonus, though. So, Cold One Dread Knights trying their best here against Azag and all these Savage Orcs, but they're just slowly being dragged down here by sheer numbers. 58 kills on one unit and 67 on the next. Supreme Sorceress going balls deep here, throwing herself in to try and rescue the situation and pop on top of Azag the Slaughterer. This engagement is so key here. Whoever wins this is probably going to win the battle in general. Giant now starting to take some pretty decent damage by the Master. Looks like some Night Goblin archers are trying to add their arrows to the fire as well. But he's just getting stomped on in return. He needs units to saturate on top of really for a bit of protection. Now, it looks like Supreme Sorceress decided, you know what, I'm not going to win that engagement. I don't want to throw my lot in with these Cold One Dread Knights, who are being forced off anyway. So I'm going to be falling back and just casting some magic instead. Looks like the Savage Orcs are aware of this, though. And, ooh, they just about managed to escape for the most part there. So Goblins and Azog are going to be fleeing that engagement here. Supreme Sorceress, though, going for the Jewel. Azog does do poison damage. He's actually a pretty tough guy to lock down. And now he's popped War. He should definitely turn and engage right now. Giant does force off the Master once again, terrified. He keeps having a little pep talk with himself and coming back. But the Giant, not too fussed by him so far, still relatively healthy. Supreme Sorceress has popped down, chasing Azog, and now I think this is going to seal her doom. She's completely surrounded. The Giant can now simply wander over and beat the crap out of her. Fate of Buna popped on her. I think that was a misclick. Probably meant to be a Spirit Leech. Fate of Buna far, far better up against units not really designed to kill individuals. In the back line, Orc Boar Chariot up to 77 kills. Been a bit of a nightmare doing that cycle charging in the back line. Cold One Dread Knights are rallying, going to hop on top of these Hammer of Gork. Once again, these goblins probably getting pretty sick here of being chased by people, and they have in fact shattered from that. But the balance power heavily in favour of the Greenskins here. Goblin archers firing into the elite Hagenef Executions, who do have 162 kills. Azog taking that duel with the Master, who has popped all his buffs, but he's just not got enough about him, unfortunately, to stick into this engagement to really punch back. And with that, there is no way Palpatine is going to be able to get back into this game, I don't think. And I think Suave is going to be going on with that win streak, which should be pretty damn good. Supreme Sorcerer hopping in on top of Orc Boar Boy Biggins, but starting to struggle a little bit now. Giant is lurking. Looks like he's wrapping around behind, but army losses do set in. And well played. A nice victory for the Greenskins and Suave. So, GG. Super fun. And let's update the scoreboard quickly. Scoreboard, there we are. Interact. So Suave up to 2, equaling Noob for Life's original run there. And after Palpatine, we now have Wu-Tank. And then it will be Zeus, Croissant, Disser, and Raptor. So Wu-Tank, if you are watching, please do join. I'll message him in Discord anyway, because I'm not sure if I have him on Steam. You're up. Cool. I misclicked there, be no spirit. Yeah, I thought so, unfortunately. Infantry Swarm was real. It was indeed. It was indeed. Let's see. No, stick with this. The Mighty Dread Knights will carry. Unfortunately, Storm on it, it was not quite enough. But yes, there was definitely some threading of the needle there, trying to hop onto the back line there, but it wasn't quite enough in the end. I've not played Greenskins in campaign, but I've messed around with them and their units in quick battles. I'm waiting for CP to update them before I play them in campaign. Yes, hopefully they will get pimped up very soon, as they're not that powerful currently, which is a little bit sad. So it looks like Wu-Tank has joined us here. We will be switching over to Mirror Woods. So after this, we do have Zeus, Croissant, Disser, and Raptor. Dude. So this is Wu-Tank's debut on the channel, I believe. Him and Suave actually both making their debuts, so it's quite nice to see these guys in action. But let's have a little look at the Magic Wheel of Doom. So let's pop that up there for you guys to see. And Suave, the current king, will be playing Vampire Counts. This wheel is definitely rigged for the Vampire Counts. Is that the third time they've been played today? So Vampire Counts up against Wu-Tanks. Dun 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 dun. Wood Elves. So Counts versus Wood Elves. Suave is Counts. Wu-Tank is Wood Elves. Should be good to see. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, in this new little format of fun. Let's make sure I took away the fin. Boop. There we go. Wu-Tank to auto first. Mirrorwood, so seems like a location you would probably find some wood elves, so nice theatrical there, coming up against the Counts trying to defend the woods. So Tree Man, pretty nice pick up against the Counts. We also have a Glade Lord, Waste Stalker, not going to be too good in this matchup. Some Dryads, some okay front line, but not too bad. I probably would twist, but not too bad. Stick or twist. What's for the undead to say? I don't know. It's upsetting. Looks like he is twisting. Let's see what he gets here. Get a little sip of my drink while he does, so we can see a dragon. Although pretty much no infantry, which is going to be a huge struggle to defend all this range core here. Just through one Wildwood Ranger and Eternal Guard. Going to be pretty tough, but we will see. Stick or twist. So this would be his final twist. I would risk it. You have no mage. You have no front line. I mean, the dragon and the tree men are so good in this matchup, but it's just not going to be worth it in case they come against blood knights and so forth. But it's been a little bit of a rough couple of picks for him so far, so it'd be interesting to see how this goes. I think Wood Elves is one of those factions which are really going to struggle in the Autogen department. But you never know. You never know. That army is really good for this account. I thought it was as well, but he wanted to switch on it. I guess he didn't have a mage, did he? Which can suck a little bit. But still, Forest Dragon and Tree Man can put in work here, so can the Treekin. I'm just a bit worried he's going to have nothing to protect the Glade Guard with. 3 units of those, and no mage. It's a bit of a tougher one. Cool. He is going to twist for the final time. And we will see what we get here. Orion, yes! Plus a Spell Singer as well. Spell Singer of Shadows, Orion, an okay-ish front line, I mean pretty elite, not quite so much range to protect, and also some Firebark Elders and a Tree Man. Sweet. On to the King. So let's have a look and see what Suave gets. Counts always have a mage, which is OP. Yes, that is pretty good shout out. Actually, are they all mages? They are, aren't they? Even, yes, Golmul is... Oh, Vlad von Karstein. There you go. Actually, no, he's a mage, isn't he? What am I talking about? Right. So, we do have a Von Karsten Vampire Lord, Banshee, nice selection of zombies, a huge amount of Graveguard as well. Not the best army normally for facing Wood Elves, but again, you can never really tell what your opponent's going to bring in this. Hexwraiths as well, Vargulf, not too bad. Stick or twist. All the Tree Men. I demand more Tree Men. I demand them. Tree Men and ducks are known friends. We do like to sit on their branches. Oh, sorry if you hear vibrates. My phone's just disconnecting and reconnecting to my charger. Looks like he's thinking about it. I mean, you've got the caster, you've got the Banshee, but he's going for the twist. Yes! Yes! Helman Gorst, the man, the myth, the legend. Surely he sticks with this. You have the greatest, most OP character in the game. Some zombies to back him up as well. Skeleton Spearmen, Crypt Ghouls, Cane Wraiths, a little bit of everything. Got Fellbats to chase down skirmishers, Blood Knights. Surely. Surely. Stick or final twist. It's difficult when you're in this situation though. You get greedy, man. You always want better. You always want better. What is he going to go for? Is he going to do it? Stick. Okay, we are seeing Helman Gorst in action up against the Wood Elves there. 2 relatively fun builds. If Orion can get on Helman Gorst, he will delete him in a matter of seconds. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Cool, we were already up. Who is your predictions on? On his cart, he is rolling dirty, man. He is rolling dirty. I believe Orion does anti-large though, so that cart's not going to save him from the vengeful Orion. He's a pretty angry fellow, not sure why. I know he's meant to represent spring and summer, but I don't know why he's always angry about it. But he should do some decent work. Let's take a little sip of my drink. That's good. By the way, does anyone know how to make a PlayStation controller work on PC? I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to PC gaming. I've only really played Total War Warhammer since I made the investment to get a gaming PC. But I do want to do a playthrough of Sensu's Sacrifice, I believe it is called. I saw the trailer for number 2 and I was like, God damn, I should stream game 1 and then stream game 2 when it comes out. It looks pretty good fun. It's kind of like a Viking-esque, looks like a kind of psychological game, which should be pretty good fun. Oh. Good luck, have fun, sweet. Hi, what I lost? No, you're still all good, man. There's been no scavens so far, so we're just continuing our stream from yesterday, Daniel. Unfortunately, the stream yesterday lagged out really badly, and it almost happened today in game 2, but apart from that, we've been pretty lucky. No lag to kind of be heard from. So, yeah, no Skaven, unfortunately. It is just random assorted armies, so we may get them later on in the stream. We currently have Wu-Tank up against Suave, who's the current King of the Hill, with 2 wins. And then we have Zeus, Croissant Talbert, Dissa, and Raptor yet to play. Which is all good. And if anyone does want to take part in future King of the Hills tournaments, wants to hang out with some cool people, do feel free to join my Discord, link in the description down below. I also have a Patreon account, which is pretty cool. Rumour has it, if you become a patron, you go into the afterlife and are reborn as a duck. So that is also down in the description below. Also, obviously, feel free to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy puppies and kittens and all things magical, like this rainbow in the distance. And if you're new to the channel and like Total War content, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button, so a little bit of my soul will be saved from the evil demons which have it clutched until we hit that 1,000 sub mark. So let's go through Wu-Tank, which is such a cool name. I hope it's based off the Wu-Tang clan. I don't know if it is, but Wu-Tank coming in with the Wood Elves, and it looks like he's going to be taking it to the trees, which you would expect. So the main guy we all want to see is this tree man in action here. Don't often get to see a basic tree man, but he is standing there looking strong, and even as a large creature he can hide in forests for obvious reasons. Quite a small infantry corps. We have the Winterheart Guard, Wildwood Rangers, and the Wardens of Sifril as well. Anti-large, armor-piercing, good all-round troop. Fighting in the trees will help them as well, as they do have Forest Stalker. We have a Spellslinger of Shadows, but in Mind Razor. Is that Enfeebling Foe or is that Pendulum? Yeah. Enfeebling Foe, Mind Razor, and Pit of Shaves. Going pretty heavy with the spells there, and a Power Stone. We have a couple of units of Glade Guard with Hagbane Tips. Chevrons up as well, should do a decent amount of damage. We have the Firebark Elders holding the line, regiment around Treemen, who are on fire, which looks very cool. And the Lord of the Hunt himself, Orion, causes terror, anti-large armor piercing, and please say he bought the Cloak of Isha. It is so powerful. Let's get down here. Mouse sticking a little bit. So he does in fact have Cloak of Isha, gives him 44% damage resistance and replenishes his health at a ridiculous rate when his hit point is lower than 20%. So all good stuff here. Looks like he's moving up Deepwood Scouts as well on either flank, or one flank, and Glade Riders on the next. So let's have a little look at the current king, Suave, and his forces. A load of zombies, including the regiment round ones in the front line, backed up by skeleton spearmen and graveguard dotted all around, which is quite nice to see. We have some crypt ghouls. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys do, and some cane reefs. Very powerful units if your opponent hasn't brought any magic damage to deal with them. We also have a corpse carved unholy lodestone. Down on the right hand side we have Black Knights of Lance and Bardim. And is there any cav on the left hand flank? There is some Blood Knights indeed, supported by some Fellbats flying high in the sky. But the real kind of main centerpiece of this battle is obviously going to be focused around Helman Gorst here. Look at all his very disgusting little bros here, clambering arms all around. He has brought the Liber Noctis. We have Magical Animus, Wind of Death, which is going to be very powerful, Gaze of Nagash, Dance Macabre, and Invocation of the Hex, so all that good stuff. And of course, Awaken the Grave. He can summon a unit of Graveguard, which is the only real saving grace of Gorst. Apart from that, he's pretty trash. He is pretty bad apart from that. So, some nice early shots coming in at these Black Knights, but these Deepwood Scouts have been spotted, and these guys are immediately aiming to run them over. It looks like there was some sneaky deployment in the back there. The Devils of Swashhaven, the regiment round Vargdice, never seen these guys in action, so they're probably not very good, but it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Black Knight's going to be pushing these Deepwood Scouts all the way back, and there's nothing here to protect them. These guys are probably going to get run over, which is quite unfortunate. On the other side, Glade Riders as well are being chased off with Fellbats, so really nice play by the King so far, forcing back his troops. Black Knights taking a little bit of damage as they go, though. But these devils are going to be swooping in as well. Deepwood Scouts trying to turn to get back to the relatively safety of the tree line, and Glade Guard doing some okay damage as well. But Deepwood Scouts, I'm sorry lads, you guys are definitely going down. These Regiment Round Vargheist look pretty cool. Looking pretty cool overall, rocking the Mohawks as best they can. Yeah, these Deepwood Scouts are being feasted on, and in the other flank, it looks like the Glade Riders did manage to escape. They turned, the firepower came in and met the fell bats as they tried chasing them down. You can see bats falling by the dozens now, as they may in fact crumble into non-existence here, but they should just about be able to rally on the side there. Wood Elves clearly want to fight in the trees, which you cannot blame them. Nice damage as well, trying to get some retaliation on these Black Knights. They lost the Deepwood Scouts, but a third health off the Black Knights. It's not a worthwhile trade, but at the same time, it's better than nothing. These things do happen when you do Vanguard. The Vampire Counts moving up in their slow march. They're going to be fighting uphill and in the trees, not where they want to be. This power core here of the Tree Man, Treekin mixed in as well with the Wardens of Cithril and the Wildwood Rangers. Should do a decent amount of work here. Glade Guard still, look at the range on these Elven Archers. They do get a accuracy buff as well when shooting from the trees, which kind of counts obviously the fact that you will hit a lot of trees as well. Getting some decent damage in, but the Black Knights have decided to engage here and take this fight. There is some Wardens of Cithril nearby, which they do not want to get tangled with. Those guys will destroy Black Knights super quickly. The front line is underway. Cane Wraiths charge into Wildwood Rangers. Good pick for them, as these guys of course do not do magic damage. Tree Man needs to come over here and start stomping these guys down. The Farbark Elders holding the line up against Skeleton Spearmen here, and the rest of the battle is underway, which is pretty damn exciting. Now, where is Orion? Looks like he's just thrown in his spear, and we do have a Pit of Shades, a fat one, coming down on these Cane Wraiths, Crypt Ghouls, and Zombies, doing crazy huge damage here. Really nice pick by Wu-Tang there. Although a Wind of Death coming down as well, doing some huge damage along this front line. Doing nothing to the Firebark Elders, but nice work on the Wildwood Rangers there. Those Cane Wraiths are starting to crumble instantly. And Tree Man, though, needs to get back in and really help out here. Glade Guard now being hunted down by these Devils here, which is not where they want to be. They need to get a little bit tight to the rest of their forces. And Blood Knights have popped onto Orion. Now, this is an interesting fight. Both of them do have anti-large. Invocation the Heck, attempting to keep the Blood Knights in this engagement. But Orion will slaughter these guys eventually and drag them down. These guys are needed elsewhere in the battlefield. Ghost charging the front line here. We do have the Summoned Grave Guard as well, completely surrounding the Windheart Guard. These guys are unbreakable though, so they will hold the line and at least waste kind of the Grave Guard summon as much as possible. Really nice play here by the Blood Knights. They do have Enfeebling Foe pop to them, but they get a rear charge onto the Firebark Elders there. And Orion launches himself into the front line at last, hopping on top of the Blood Knights, doing some fantastic work. Wildwood Rangers as well, looks like managed to finish off those ethereal units, and you know, up to 52 kills, not bad. And across the line, it looks like, is this another Pit of Shades coming in? No, it is just Orion's bow there doing some decent damage. That'd been pretty crazy if you'd managed to get that much Winds of Magic back that quickly. Wardens of Cithril will easily manage to kill all of these zombies and crypt ghouls and so forth, but it's kind of a waste of their potential. They're going to be taking damage this entire time. They need to be over here, really, taking down those Blood Knights, Corpse Car, and so forth. Pretty stretched battle so far, but it looks like the Vampire Counts are starting to overwhelm their foes. Managed to get the much better kind of trades here on these skirmish forces. Glade Riders, though, doing decent work on top of the Devils, but they've managed to hunt off so much troops here. And it looks like we have another Pit of Shades coming in here. What is it hitting, though? Just zombies and a unit of Grave Guard. Okay, not the worst cast there. And then, you know, these Brave Windheart Guard going into the ether there, but sacrificed pretty wise here. So, Hounds popping down here as well, helping finish off these Crypt Ghouls. And it looks like the Deepwood Scouts have actually returned and managed to get a little bit of value at least, currently firing into those nasty Ghouls. Tree Man is going to be an absolute pain in the arse to take down, but there are some Black Knights here. Only Blood Knights left. Still a lot of healthy Blood Knights, which is going to be a big problem here for the Wood Elves, as those guys can do huge damage to that Tree Man and work over Orion with effective cycle charging. So it looks like Orion tried to get on Helm and Gorse, but he's, you know, sneakily cackling as he does fall back here, pulled by his little homies. Orion equally trying to fall back, probably going to try and tie up with the Tree Man and lure all these forces in together. And one more fat Pit of Shades could be really useful, but again, that spell costs so much money. So, Glade Riders hand charge into combat now, doing some cycle charging onto these Crypt Ghouls, trying to support Orion. There is Skeleton Spearmen here as well, who will love to say hello to these Glade Riders and start picking them apart. Glade Riders with very low armor values, Skeleton Spearmen designed to kill that type of foe. Tree Man going after Helm and Gorse the best he can. Looks like he's trying to pop all his buffs for a little bit of protection. And we do have some Summoned Grave Guard as well. That's his second use of that ability. trying to pin in the Tree Man. There's Blood Knights over here as well. I think that is going to be a good night to Sweet Prince to the Wood Elf forces. Army losses probably going to set in relatively soon. It looks like we have another spell coming in, probably sent in by Ryan here. His bow, once again, doing some pretty good damage. He is up to 90, 105 kills in fact. Doing some decent work, but he's just not strong enough to deal with this many forces. Tree Man does rout there, and Orion just fighting to the bitter end, as he is, of course, unbreakable. Devil's coming in for a nice road charge here. Everything being chucked in. There's not too much he can do here, but just try and take out as many foes as possible. Looks like we are going to get the Hounds popping in here as well. Going down with a fight, which is nice to see. Looks like we do have GG's in the chat, however. Orion, oh, where are you, buddy? Getting some decent attacks now, trying to take down as many of these horrifying monsters as possible. Up to 350 kills. He just gained so many kills in a short amount of time. Just shows what his abilities can do against bunched together forces. He is getting that healing proc now. As you can see, he's fighting for so long, even when surrounded by so many forces here. It does get shoved to the ground, but he's still going. I'm just giving more time to heal up, if anything. And imagine a Pit of Shades now. It would be so glorious. But the rest of the forces have completely shattered off. Army losses has swung completely over. It is 1 versus 400 and... what just went down there? A load of them just died, down to 385 here. And a lot of these units are starting to crumble, which is kind of funny here. Orion kind of starting to stabilise a tiny bit. 600 health, 500 health. Nah, he is slowly going down here. There's just not enough about him. But he's taking down so many people here and putting a ton of work. If Blood Knights die, Wood Elves got this. Tree Man will have free reign, but unfortunately, Blood Knights managed to survive. He did try and pick them off early on, but they still have 30 models here and up to 63 kills. Looks like Orion down to just 230 health, trying to get a couple more spells off. His bow coming in and doing some decent work. What a hero, representing the Wood Elves here, back to back with a tree, fighting with his kin here, doing the best he can, and Kobeing a spear here into these nasty creatures of the deep. Down to just 182 health. He is slowly losing health faster than he's taken in. GG by Wu-Tang there as well. Always good to see people fighting to the death and trying their hardest here and putting on a good show as well. So big shout out to Wu-Tang making his debut on the channel. So GG's 397 kills by Orion is pretty ridiculous, but he just didn't have enough to overpower the man, the myth, the legend, Helmengorst. So, we're going to be playing on Alpine Ridge next, and Zeus is going to be joining in. So let's quickly change the scoreboard. Scoreboard interact. So Suave up to 3. Can anyone stop the current king? He has overtaken Noob for Life's 2 record there. We do have Zeus. Let's see what these guys are saying. Good game, indeed. Lots of kills, which is what we love to see. Imagine how fast you'd reach the 30k sub if CA announced that at the amount they released Warhammer 3 trailer. Where was this? Sorry, I've missed a little bit here. Story caps. I don't think you messaged anything, Disla. My personal favourite game of 2017. Oh, okay, should be pretty interesting though. But I hope people would be interested in watching. I know I normally do Total War content, so it might be a bit strange if I do another game, but should be good fun. Imagine how fast you'd reach the 30k sub if CA announced that at the amount they released Warhammer 3 trailers. Man, my brain's dead there. I'm not sure what you're saying. But I agree. Whatever it is, I agree. Good luck. Awesome. Zeus. Zeus. Cool. Zeus, very cool guy. Friend of the channel as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the god can overthrow the king. Let's bring up the Wheel of Doom and allow it to decide our fates. So Wheel of Doom is now up. Let's interact with that. Move this to the side and give it a good couple of spins. The professional wheel is out. So we will go with Zeus first, and he will be taking the Bretonnians, and then the king. So we have Bretonnians versus Suave's Vampire Coast. It just loves a good undead force. So Zeus is Brett versus VP. Zeus to auto fest. No! I love that he went on for so long that his name became tiny. Lord Zeus, clearly not a fan here of the Bretonians. Whoa, 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 whoa. Which is good to see. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. It's a pretty fun matchup. So it looks like we have our first auto here. Prophetess of Beasts, kind of men-at-arms, Grey Reliquary, and a ton of cav, including a billion Knights of the Realm and Defenders Flawless as well. Knights Errant as well. Stick or twist. Let's see if he wants to keep it. Not bad at all. A ton of cav to get onto the long-range forces of Suave here. Knights of the Realm as well. I think it's Knights. They're not the anti-large ones, are they? It's the other ones. So he will struggle against big constructs like crabs and so forth, but he might be able to surround them. But apart from that, this is not too bad. We also have Prophetess of Beasts. Could summon Manticores and stuff to help deal with big crabby patties and so forth. Yeah, not bad for being Brett's. Twist, though. He has gone for a twist. We have Repants with a Paladin here, but no magic, which is a big problem here. Peasant mobs and a ton of men-at-arms as well. Beast Slayers can do a decent job in this matchup. And there's still Grail Guardians and a ton of archers. Not bad, but twist again. Cool. Final twist. Final twist it is. So, we have a Prophetess of Heavens this time, a ton of men-at-arms and spearmen, foot squires, some peasant bowmen, decent amount of cavalry as a large air contingent as well of Pegasus Knights. I can switch one last time. Nope. That's the free. So, on to Suave. And now the king. So let's see what he gets here. Again, quite lucky a lot of his leaders are casters, unless he gets Luther Harkin, of course. Actually, is Aranis a Soul Spider caster as well? I don't think she is. But we do get a Vampire Fleet Admiral of the Deep, Gunnery White, decent amount of low-level troops, some Depth Guard, and you know, oh yes, a Gallows Giant. That is beautiful. Stick or twist. Would be very good at kind of decimating peasant and men-at-arms mobs, but of course very bad against cav. And he doesn't have too many anti-large tools here, so yeah, I could see a twist coming in. Oh my god! What is this? Look how elite this is! 3 units of depth guard with pole arms. We have zombie pirate guardian mobs with hand cannons, shade wraiths, a silver chevron bloated corpse, beautiful. A couple of carronades. This is pretty cool. Stick or final twist. We will see. Aranis Assault Spike does that anti-large damage as well. Very anti-large in general. Stick. So we are getting a super elite build here. Let's double check what this is. I mean, the Field Triple Shade could do bits. This is going to be tough for Lord Zeus, I feel. But he is an incredibly good player, so we'll say. He also does have animated hulks, which are one of the most useless units in the entire game, and a bloated corpse, which could be destroyed by peasants. So you never really know. So let's get this cracking. My kind of army needs more bloated boys. I 100% agree. 100% agree. So up after this, we do have Croissant. If he is still around, I'll drop a message in Discord, as I don't think he's in chat. I haven't seen him around. But we will get Croissant in, and then the Mighty Disseller, and then Raptor to end it off on a glorious map indeed. It should be good fun. So anyone joining late in, this is a King of the Hill, a bit of a twist to celebrate getting... Oh, looks like I might have a question. Hang on a sec. Good luck, have fun. That's fine. To celebrate hitting the 250 sub mark, we're doing a Autogen random selected faction King of the Hill, just for a little bit of mix-up. We will be going back to the normal kind of routine in the future, as I know a lot of the more competitive players prefer those ones. But we will chuck one of these in every now and again as well. Looks like they're just changing their items around and spells, which is all good. And we will hop in. How long have we been streaming for, by the way, if anyone can tell me? It will be good to know. We still have 4 games to go as well. Yeah, more chevroned bloated boys. Yay, yay! New for Life, very well played earlier on, by the way. Getting that two victories in a row. Can anyone stop Suave making his debut on the channel and putting in huge amounts of work here? 3 wins in a row. I'm so paranoid about the Wheel of Doom now being in front of the screen, but I think we're all good. So, last time Zeus joined, that is when we started getting the lag problems, so hopefully it will be all good. I know he said he does have a new internet provider, so it'll take a little while to try it out. What are these trees in the distance here? Why do they look so different? Oh, close up they just look standard. That's weird. But okay, Alpine Ridge, one of the OG maps from Total War, Rome Total War, which is the first ever Total War game that at least I'm aware of. Although the map has changed and gone through many alterations since then. Big hill in the middle, and it's a good tactical decision making that you kind of forces you to make these decisions, right? Do you go for the hill, gain the high ground, make Obi-Wan Kenobi proud, and yell down at your opponent to come at you, bro? Or do you shoot your opponent off the hill, or ignore it entirely and just go round the outsides? Looks like we are loading in now, which is all good to see. And fingers crossed. Fingers crossed as much as they possibly can be right now. And boom. Looks like we're all good, thank the Lord, the almighty Lord Zeus and his forces. So, for his infantry corps, we have men-at-arms with polearms, some foot squires, spearmen, men-at-arms, men-at-arms. So lots of basically men-at-arms and spearmen, mixed in with 1 unit of foot squires as well. He's been moving his forces back here. So we do have a filled trebuchet to boot as well, and a large cav contingent here of Knights Errant, Defenders of Fleur de Lis, and another unit of Questing Knights as well. These guys anti-infantry, so we'll struggle up against large foes. We have 2 units of Peasant Bowmen, one with pox arrows and one with fire arrows. For a Lord, we do in fact have a Prophetess of Heavens here. Let's see what she is in fact bringing to the table. Channeling Staff, we have Chain Lightning, Urine's Thunderbolt, Curse Midnight Wind, Wind Blast, and Harmonic Convergence. So bringing a ton of spells here. And up in the sky, 3 units of Pegasus Knights, some with chevrons. So pretty cool stuff indeed. Oh my god, that map. This isn't even one of the meme maps. I actually quite like this map in a competitive setting. So up front we have some depth card, the Tide of Skjold as well, regiment of renowned zombie pirate deckhand mobs. Shade Wraith gunners as well, just chilling there in the middle pocket. We have 2 cannonades as well, going to be doing some decent value. We have zombie pirate gunnery mob hand cannons. We have depth guard with polearms all over the place, so 2 there either side. Bloaty Boy hiding in the back with his silver chevron, which gives him a bonus to his pure swag factor, as you can tell by this anchor dripping down from his chin strap there. With some Fellbats as well in the back lines, some animated hulks, Vampire Fleet Captain of Deep, and Aranis Assault Spike for that anti-large. Very good to bring up against Britonians. I'm not used to Brat, that's fine. So we're getting a little bit of lag, but nothing too much alone, so we'll see how it plays here. 3 gold chevron bloated boys are so worth the money. 108 minutes, thank you very much. The extra melee stat makes them base. Okay. So it looks like there's not too much lag, so it should be fine. Which is good to see. Who is your money on here? I feel like this vampire build is pretty good up against what Zeus has. The amount of polearms can just tear apart Pegasus Knights and all the Knights Errant and so forth. And I don't think there's going to be enough men-at-arms and so forth to drag these guys down. There's a decent amount of shooting as well to get some early firepower in. It's going to be tough. Oh, Lord Zeus here being sneaky in the back with 3 units of the Pegasus Knights in reserve now. Need to come in here and try and take those cannons offline. But Bloated Boy there is going to be doing some nice defending. If you can shoot him though when he's in the midst of his own troops, it's really funny because he will suicide bomb and take down a load of his own men as well. It'll be interesting to see how these guys played. They're basically never picked in multiplayer. The standard version just so much better, and you can get cheap and cheerful halberds anyway, so it's not really too much of a problem. And the battle is underway. Cannons somehow managed to see there, getting some shots in straight away into some glorious spearmen at arms. Looks like the Cav are going to be forcing forward as well. Shade Wraith gunners do turn to 360 Noscop these Pegasus Knights, taking an absolute beating here. And so the Blow Corps has come into the relative safety of his own troops here. His Pegasus Knights are going to have to start to fall back. They were spotted by Suave there and his forces. So the rest of the Tony's though just chilling in the back for now. Looks like he is going to be microing these guys out and to safety as fast as possible, which is a pretty good idea here, to be honest. Cannons are turning to shoot them as well. Getting some decent work done though. These Pegasus Knights taking a little bit of a beating. They're trying to swoop and dive and dodge as much of the firepower as possible, but it should be fine. The rest of the forces just going to start to try and take the hill. Trebuchet should be able to fire over on top and do some decent damage. Looks like it is in fact going for the cannonade, which is a pretty interesting choice. I suppose it can't be shot back. And in the woods here we have the Knights Errant, and Quester Knights going to be flanking around. Foulbats, though, may discover them accidentally here, and the Pestis Knights do manage to escape to relative safety. So, Field Trebuchet still firing in here. It's going to be able to drag these guys out of here, I think, a little bit as well. Firing into the depth guard and doing some decent damage. Now, these guys have the hunger, right? Surely. Yes, they have the hunger. For some reason, Blood Knights do not have the hunger, I believe, which is pretty ridiculous, as these are both units of complete vampires. Cannonade been left a little bit exposed in the back here. Pegasus Knights probably come back and take those guys out. But it looks like he may be aware of that and starting to pull back some of his forces a little bit here. Looks like the battalion's going to be taking the high ground. They are making Master Obi-Wan very proud indeed. Pegasus Knights have been used sacrificially here to try and charge in, but they're probably going to break before they can actually make contact. Can they get in there? No! They break just as they're still in their attack animation here. Don't know if it's worth sacrificing these guys yet. You're kind of going to win the skirmish game using the trebuchet to fling rocks up and over these rocks where these cannons cannot shoot back. But he's going in here. I'm going to try and take these guys offline. Just pop one on one and one on the other, though. I suppose a lot of the gunfire does stop. Zombie pirate guardian mobs with hand cannons, though. Didn't often see these guys either. Getting in some nice volleys as well into the Pegasus Knights, who have very quickly, though, destroyed that cannonade and now should be able to get back into the safety of the woods. The second one will be going down incredibly fast as well. We do have some pole arms depth guard trying to get back in there to protect these guys, but these guys need to get out of here. Looks like the order has been given. And they're just about going to swoop back up into the air. One of them may get caught, but that's not too big a loss there. In the trees, the bloaty boy, oh no, it's our assault spike, boo, is managed to catch some Knights Errant in her Spearfisher's net, which is very good play. The other Knights are now charging headlong into some animated hulks before trying to loop into the back line here and shut down some units. Nice micro in there by Zeus. Russian platoons are starting to move up. 28 kills on the field trebuchet is no joke, and the Prophetess of Heavens moving in as well. Maybe a magical wind blast on the Shade Wraiths would be a really nice pick. Looks like the cannon is being shut down once again, though. Quest Knight's doing some decent work. Pegasus Knight's taking a lot of damage up in the sky, though. Looks like Knight Errants do manage to escape. And is this a Comet of Cassandora, perhaps? We do have a summon in the back here, going to be very, very powerful. What is this coming down? Or is he running Thunderbolt? Sorry, not Cassandora. Doing some okay damage there. I think a Wind Blast might be able to catch a little bit more of those models. And it looks like the Knights Errant are going to be falling back now as this Crab Summon has been coming into play, which is a good idea. Just fall back. There's no need to engage these guys. They will disappear over a certain amount of time. Ooh, unfortunately, the Prophetess taking a huge beat in there. I don't know what came in. Probably zombie Paragon mobs with hand cannons. And the bloated boy running desperately to try and finish her off, but she is managing to escape there relatively safely. More magical damage coming down on the Shade Wraiths. And nice charge by defenders into the front lines. Bloated boy popping into some peasants there, killing the men at arms. Not bad, getting some okay value there, wiping out about half a unit there of the halberds and force them off. These archers, though, going to be really decent here, taking down all these zombies. Zombie pirate guardian mob with hand cannons being deleted now, and these defenders of Flodolus do fall back as well. So, in the distance, Quest Knight still active. Also, one unit of Pegasus Knights. He's had to commit so many of his forces. Looks like another one is alive as well. He's, three actually alive, just very beaten up. He's had to commit a lot of forces to take those cannons offline, but he has done his job. Now he just needs to get rid of the Shade Wraiths, and then it's a simple job of protecting these peasant bowmen as they tear apart the depth guard piece by piece. Not too much of this kind of Vampire Coast roster really having the pace to get into those back lines and shut those guys down. The squires, it looks like they are gloriously finished off these crabs, but in reality they just disappeared. And now the pox arrows are coming over, doing good work to the Shade Wraith gunners over here. Defenders of Flodolus going to be falling back as well. And with some fantastic micros so far, I think Zeus has found himself in a relatively dominating position here. Maybe able to dethrone the king, although Suave at the same time is going tit for tat with some really nice plays himself. Pegasus Knight's definitely going to go try and finish off these Shade Wraiths. Although, what's this coming in? Oh, we do have a taunt coming in, making these guys a lot weaker. Our Assault Spike needs to net these guys now. Pop in there with the depth guard. It looks like we in fact have a summon instead coming in. And we have Rotten Prometheans and a net coming down in the healthy unit. Really nice play here by Suave to get back into this game. Going to pull apart these Pegasus Knights. Some of them do manage to float back up in the air, but these ones stand no chance there. Pegasus Knights, though, are going to be using this opportunity to pop on top of the gunnery mobs, and constant archer fire coming in is slowly whittling down at these animated hulks. Quest Knights as well, getting in there and doing the dirty. Spearmen going to be popping as well, but it looks like the Army Hulks have completely fallen, and it looks like the Bretons most likely have this. Field Trebuchet up to 38 kills as well. Nice arrow fire coming over into the depth guard. These are particularly elite troops, but they will be dragged down by sheer weight of volume. Texas Knights really struggling to escape here though, and slowly being dragged down. But Suave definitely going down with a fight and possibly still able to get back into this game. Vampire Fleet Captain of Deep trying to shut down some foot squires, but it looks like Bretons will probably get some rallying troops coming back as well. A nice wind blast come down here as well, helping to finish off the tide. More arrows I can hear whizzing by the camera now, just trying to focus down the depth guard where possible. They are going to be healing up, of course, whilst they're in combat. Defenders of Third List going to be getting finished off here as well. And this is still a very healthy and powerful core of the Vampire roster. But there's still a decent amount of ammo left on these peasants. Should be able to whittle those guys down relatively effectively. Foot Squire does have Taunt on them at the moment, going to allow this Vampire Fleet Captain to really start destroying them quite badly. And actually, I'm not sure who this is favouring now. There's still some really powerful units. Vampire Fleet Captain, Aranis Assault Spike. What's there really left to take those two guys down, apart from Mass Fire, which needs to be worked on top of the depth guard? Prophetess falling back here as well. Trebuchet up to a mighty 46 kills, been doing decent work overall. But this could be a struggle actually for Bretonia. They're in the driving seat possibly with all this ammo that is going to be coming in, but taking down the single entities is going to be tough. Another nice wind blast coming in though, going to help whittle down those depth guard. Probably best now to focus those guys down and then surround the Vampire Fleet Captain and Aranessa with just sheer amounts of filthy, disgusting peasant civilians and then drag them down. So decent fire coming in here. Depth guard down to 27 and 38 moles respectively. And there's just nothing that's realistically going to be able to shut down these peasant mobs, nothing fast enough to catch them. See some rocks coming in here as well. And the peasants simply going to pack up their gear and start retreating here. As they should have to pace a bit. Although, a nice spell coming in here as well. The old Tide doing some decent damage overall. We have some Quest Knights going to be charging in to protect these peasants. Getting here and flatten some depth guard. But they do get netted, unfortunately. That net has been really clutch here by Suave. Coming in here, pinning in these knights. And they are going to go down. Looks like the archer's going to turn and shoot here. Trying to get some decent damage. Peasant mobs with their fire arrows coming in as well. Getting some really nice work in general. Prophetess popping Arcane Conduit to try and keep her magic up high. And the Field Trebuchet is now obstructed and cannot fire. You should be able to just loop your shots up and over, but I suppose there's quite a small arc there to do it in. And it looks like all of the men-at-arms just trying to rest up. They are now all fresh, or just winded, turning fresh for the final engagement, which will be coming. One unit of Depth Guard has started to debilitate there, so they are going to be falling down. Oh no, they're starting to gain a little bit of health by cutting down Peasant Bowman, may give them a chance to rally. This other unit needs to be kept alive though, very key here, but he's going to be falling back and pushing up his men-at-arms now. Prophetess can get in there and do some okay damage herself, but again, anti-large everything around here, so not too good. Looks like they're trying to take the high ground before they actually end up having to fight here. Getting kind of a nice surround though with the peasants, but they do start charging downhill on top of these men-at-arms, and he does a big taunt comes in as well, can allow these guys to be run over very quickly there. Oh, sorry about that a little bit. Foot squads as well get run over as they try and get in there by a big old wave, but we do have the peasant bowman with fire arrows consistently getting that fire in. Now, Depth Guard very, very low health here. Another unit getting pretty beat up as well. The Orion's Thunderbolt coming down though, doing some decent damage as well. These peasant bowmen have rallied to the cause, and Field Trebuchet moving around to get a bit of sight again. Can still do some decent work to Depth Guard. But when it gets down to the two models, probably honestly better charging those guys into combat or just keeping them out of it, trying to keep the balanced power in your favour, because it's not going to do any damage to the individuals there. Peasant bowmen firing some shots here, but balanced power now very heavily in favour of the Vampire Coast. And I can see why. What is there to take down these heroes? That is the problem here. He's trying to fall back and shoot where he can, get that value and tear apart these Depth Guard. But they are in fact actually healing up tiny bounce by eating foot squires where possible. It's complex. I always wonder how the hunger works in reality. Are they biting them and draining their blood mid-combat? Seems terribly inconvenient, especially against armoured foes. Peasant bowmen do unfortunately get caught there by Aaron's Assault Spite, who's a fairly nifty and nimble foe, as you can see by her very cool peg legs as well, which I believe are kind of the snout, you know, the nose of swordfish strapped to her legs, which is pretty damn cool. Trying his best here, Zeus, fighting tooth and nail. He's done a fantastic job as well managing the game, but so has Suave, and I think his leadership corps may have this. Depends what spells we have, I suppose. Peasants are being chased off here. Rocks constantly being thrown in, but They may take out the depth guard, but what are they going to do against this leadership core? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You're going to go eat something real quick, Raptor? No worries. You are up in about 3... There's 2 games between this one and your game. So you should have plenty of time, my friend. At the moment, getting some decent shots firing down here on the depth guard. These guys slowly being dragged down. 24 models here. But I just can't see it happening. The ammo is going to run out very soon as well for the peasants. He's constantly falling back, trying to get the value where he can from these peasant bowmen. But there's only a few volleys left. The ones on top of the hill here are out. Those are the pox arrows. Fire arrows. How much ammunition do you guys have left? 3 volleys. Do still have the trebuchet though as well. Does in fact have 2 volleys itself. So his depth guard probably going to die. 15 models left, and they are starting to crumble as well. Trying their best to get into combat, but Lord Zeus not having any of it. Going to be falling back here and charging downhill now with these guys. So we have 3 volleys. Going to be super key. They're going to have to shoot at captains and so forth. And only 1 volley left on the field trebuchet, which is a little bit of a disaster. In comes some fire arrows. Pew pew pew. Might even be worth shooting the depth guard here. They are kind of destroying themselves anyway at this point. Probably better to focus down the vampire fleet captain. And then go for Arrow's Assault Spike at the end. Looks like they are manoeuvring, trying to protect the trebuchet, but in comes the last volley. Bam, bam, bam. Looks like one of the rocks did manage to skin her slightly there, kind of skim out along the side. Last volley getting ready as well. Or are they completely out? No, it looks like they have the one left loaded in. And these peasants here, very, very low as well. But looks like the battle is finally going to get underway. Anna's Assault Spike chucks herself in at some men-at-arms. Going to be munching those quite comfortably. Harmonic Convergence popped on the men-at-arms. Odd choice here. Only 15 left, and those guys do break. Probably better to save it for a bigger, healthier unit of spearmen. Or maybe even the Prophetess of herself coming in for a bit of a snipe. But it looks like this is going to be GG, I'm afraid. Trebuchets are being dragged down here. Almost with a nice little leap and attack here. Going to be mopping up these peasants very effectively. And you can see the rest of the forces trying to come in for a full surround. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I think the forces of evil are going to reign supreme. As we've seen in the Autogen format, those guys are very powerful. Look at the attack animation by Ornus Assault Spike spinning around on top of her mighty spear. Coming up against these spearmen now, it looks like we are getting a debuff optimum as well. Curse of Midnight Wind coming in, but all hands ahoy. We do have a big attack coming down here, but it's probably going to kill a load of the peasants. Ooh, it is the mighty ethereal ship itself coming here and doing no damage to unfortunate peasants who did manage to fall back there. So they are going to be re-engaging again. Fire arrows loosen some of their last volleys straight into this vampire fleet captain. Just like Curse of Midnight Wind popped on her, just nuking their stats pretty heavy, but a huge wave comes in. It's going to rout all of these peasant forces and probably force the balance of power over. What a game! That was crazy close. Some really nice performances by both these players here. Which was pretty damn insane. GG's to both players. But this is by all means impossible. Free depth guard, holy hell. Yeah. You did good, man. You did good. You did good considering. So, Suave is the current king. So, Croissant, please do join if you are in. I'll send a little message on Discord as well, as we'll update the scoreboard. So, scoreboard. Suave up to 4, which is pretty damn insane. And let's get Croissant in here. Oh, God, that's... yeah. There we go. Looks like he's not online, but we'll give him a couple of minutes to join. Suave doing very good. Can anyone overthrow the king? It doesn't seem possible. You love that spell. I'm assuming you're talking about the boat, man. It is so freaking awesome. It just takes so long that it's not really useful, unfortunately, I don't think. Oh, it's useful, but not fantastic, you know. So, we do have 3 games left, or possibly 2, depends if Croissant can make it. So we're going to be fighting on Eschen here. And then we will have one more normal map, and the final map will be pretty disgusting. Let's see if Croissant has message. Console Rome has message. Hey man, can I still join? Unfortunately, bro. Actually, you might be able to take Croissant's spot. Give me a second. If Croissant can't make it. Cool, so we do have Croissant, Talbot, Dissa, and Raptor. If Croissant can't make it, Considero will simply stand in as his warrior, his champion. Looks like that was sent a little while ago, so oh no, it was just a minute ago, so you may be able to join console. Looks like Croissant is still offline, unfortunately. So we'll give him literally 2 minutes. We'll give him 2 minutes. If not, hop in. Cool. This how's it going? At least you make a Raptor play on his mini maps. Exactly, vengeance. Vengeance for all the games he's made me cast on disgusting maps. And all the poor souls who've had to play on them. Cool. So we're going to be trying to keep this fairly quick because I don't want to stream for too much longer. I need to go and get some food yet and try and rest. I don't want to end up kind of getting more, especially with all the horrible viruses that are going around now. I don't want people thinking that I've got the coronavirus or anything. Which has unfortunately hit Britain, which sucks, so please be careful out there, guys, as much as possible. Okay. Looks like he's not online, so we'll let console hop in. So let's drop him a cheeky invite. Boop. Give me a 2-minute break, please. Sure. So we give him a couple of minute break as we get him in and let them decide their factions. Or I say let them decide, we will decide. It was inevitable. Yeah, eventually you were going to win enough games to get to the meme maps, or you were going to unfortunately be last on the list. Starting the game now. Sweet, console room is setting up. Just make sure Croissant hasn't popped up. If so, we'll just get him in as well, but we will try and keep it as swift as possible. Should be all good fun. So yeah, it's been a pretty fun format. I think it's an interesting thing to do now and again. It's not going to be the standard way we do King of the Hills. We will be bringing it back to the usual, slightly more competitive format. But every now and again, we will try and chuck a fun one like this in as well. At some point as well, I'm going to be trying to do the Sensu's... I probably said it horribly wrong, because I only just saw the trailer. I was like, this looks amazing. Oh wait, it's game 2. I want to go back and do game 1, Sensu's Sacrifice, which will be up on the channel as well at some point in the near future. I'm just considering getting a face cam before I do that, or if I'm just going to do kind of voice work, which we'll see how it goes. Console Rome is here! All hail! All hail! So, let us change this to... Oh god, it's horribly spelled anyway. To console. We're leading the forces of Rome to greater glory. So, let's pop up the wheel. The Wheel of Doom! Let's see what we get. So, this is Suave. Suave is the Skaven. And console... Chaos. Beautiful. Yep. So, Suave Skaven. Suave Skaven. Console Chaos. Oh god. Quick typing is not my forte, which is kind of funny considering the amount of writing I do as well. I had not played Wood Elves before. I had watched some gameplay, but Orion is a beast. It was a fun game. Man, you did good. Orion is super cool, man. He's one of my favourite ones. Don't have Chaos. Oh. We will reroll. Cool. Console does not have the DLC. That's fine. Let us pop the Wheel of Doom back on. Consul instead will be High Elves. Very sneaky for him. I know High Elves are one of his favourite factions, so pretending to not have the DLC there to get his better one. Which is High Elf for Consul. I'm just going to check my Discord or column messages. Hopefully it's not from Croissant. Nope, we're all good. So, Consul to auto first. Oh, your High Elves. Yeah, okay, switch. Cool, so we have a nice auto here, coming with 2 Flames Fire Phoenixes, an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower as well for good measure. A couple of Sword Masters, not bad pick overall, but going to be pretty tough to deal with Skaven. But I don't know, Flames Fire Phoenixes can get in there and do some decent work. So stick or twist. I'm really poor at Skaven, it's fine. The wheel loves me, it does indeed! Finally, you get to see some Skaven. Looks like he did go for a twist there. We have 1 Flamesire Phoenix, 1 Eagle instead, chevroned up Sisters of Avalon, only 2 White Lines of Chase, unfortunately, and a Lariel the Radiant. So, stick or final twist. Have a little sip of water while he decides. Going for that final twist in. My god! Alright, we have Alariel the Radiant, Handmaiden of the Everqueen, 2 Swordmasters, Archers, Flamesire Phoenix, and a Star Dragon. This has gone terribly wrong. Use the funds to buy items. Cool. King's turn. That's a pretty rough build there, I'm afraid, Consul of Rome. Let's see where we get. We get Deathmaster Snicketch, very awesome indeed. An assassin, a load of cheap and cheerful rats who would get butchered by things like the dragon and so forth. Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, Eshin Triads, Hell Pit Abomination. Oh, this is pretty nasty. Stick or twist. That is pretty damn nasty. I suppose one of the bonuses of being one of the factions like Skaven is you get so many forces regardless. You'll never end up with an absolute tiny death ball like unfortunately Consul has gotten. But that is the luck. Swordmasters are good versus Chaos, that is indeed. The dragon is good, but looks like he is considering it. Sticking, nice. This is a very powerful build here. Hell Pit Abomination going to do some fantastic work overall. Should be able to go toe for toe with the dragon for a little bit. Dragon though will beat him down, especially with fire damage. Got the assassin in there. It's pretty good build. No magic, but apart from that, it's relatively strong and. I mean, these archers are just dead. Like, how are you going to protect them? It's not physically possible. Looks like changed some of the items on the Handmaiden, which is fine. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. This is going to be tasty. So after this, we do have the legendary Dissa stepping in, and then Raptor for the final game. Oh, looks like we might have a question. Boop. Oh boy. He's getting excited. It's going to be real tough for the Hiles. I don't know if it's impossible. I mean, the Phoenix and the Dragon will do bits, but there is some Storm Vermin in there as well, which is just not nice. Maybe get an Assassination on Deathmaster Snicketch, though, with the big boys, and then keep them alive with the healing. You still have a Lariel and a Dragon, that's always a good shout. And then tear out everything else, perhaps. Chaos is easy versus Skaven, you think, Papa Palpatine? I quite like. I don't know. I mean, you know, cheap and cheerful Marauders, which are just so good at tearing apart 90% of Skaven infantry. You got the Throne Axes, which can do a good job against Hell Pit Abominations and so forth. But if you don't bring them, they can be a bit of a problem. You have a lot of different lore choices you can bring. Archeon's not too easy to snipe out. You've also got Sigvald the Magnificent. You don't want to be in Kolek, realistically. Yes, he's a big terror-causing monster, but it's a bit of a nightmare against Warplock Jezzails, Warp Lightning Cannons, all that nasty stuff. But let's say it's relatively even matchup. Relatively. So loading now to the glorious plains of Eschen here. Quite a large map with loads of rolling hills, so you can disrupt a lot of that shooting. A few little patches of trees as well, some on the periphery as you can see in the distance. Those just give you a little bit of a allowance for sneaky stabbings. There's some glorious skull architecture, which seems to be a bit of a staple in Warhammer, just chilling in the background there. Big Bird is a pain, and that is true. The Big Bird is a massive pain for Skaven. He can push through, he's got that missile resistance, he's hard to drag down. But you can go Death Blob against Chaos relatively effectively as well with Skaven. So we will see how this goes. So I'm just waiting for those guys to load in now. The top bar has appeared, so we should be quite shortly. And it looks like the lag is relatively fine, which is good to see. So, very easy to go through the health build, so go through them first. 2 units of Swordmasters HOF in the middle, super elite warriors. I do not believe they speak. Do they not speak? Or is that only the Dark Elf people? I'm not sure. I don't believe... Oh, there's a Phoenix Guard. Someone correct my lore, but either way, Swordmaster HOF, badass warriors trained for decades. We also have some Gate Guard as well, a campaign unit. Lothran Sea Guard, basically, in all but name. We also have some archers as well. Up in the sky, Alaria, the range on top of the eagle here, which is going to give her a lot of kind of added mobility and cohesion, I suppose, and synchronization with the dragon and the Flamesfire Phoenix. She has brought Star of Avalon, as you'd expect, Earthblood, Banishment, Shield of Isha, and Boon of Isha, all that good stuff. Star of Avalon, of course. And then we have a Handmaiden of the Everqueen, not going to be up to too much. And then a Flamesfire Phoenix and Star Dragon. This is a dangerous core here for the Skaven to deal with. We also have some chariots roaming around as well. Where are they? There you are. Some Ilfimar chariots as well. Now, for the Skaven forces, over here on the high ground, it looks like he's just moving them over here. We have a nice, quite well-balanced list, in fairness. Clan Rats are mixing with Skaven Slaves to make a pretty juicy front line as a whole. We also have some Skaven Slave Slingers as well in the front line to slow down the enemies. We have the Doombringers, which are some Regiment Round Warplock Throwers, not Regiment Round, sorry, but a campaign favourite. Looks like they come with strength in numbers and are unbreakable, which is pretty damn interesting. With some Poisoned Wind Mortars, Warplock Jezzails, Rattling Guns, going to be very good against the dragons and so forth, protecting his forces. Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, Eschen Triads, going to be fantastic again against those large threats. Stormborn with Hellbirds, Assassin, Deathmaster Snickitch, Hellpit Abomination. This is going to be horrifyingly hard for the High Elves here. I just don't see a way that this three can kind of carry the day. It's going to be so tough. Triads are so good against them, Storm Vermin are good against them, Rattling Guns are good against them. It's going to be tough, but maybe they can carry the day. I cannot even see these Swordmasters reaching the enemy lines, though. They're going to be obliterated by mortars and Jezzails. Although the Jezzails may focus on the bigger, nastier targets, and perhaps the Handmaiden of the Everqueen can come in and snipe out the artillery pieces, you never know. But in comes some initial shots, well dodged here by Consul of Rome, moving that Flamesfire Phoenix, darting left and right there. Big Blob deletes Death Blob's Final Transmutation. That is true indeed. That is true indeed. So in come the Rattling Gunners, getting some really good damage on our Lara, who's going to instantly have to pull back here. Don't want to get near him at all. Flamesfire Phoenix looking for somewhere to drop its fire poos, but unfortunately it can't really get too close yet. It probably needs to wait for the rest of his forces, but looks like he wants to keep them in the trees and try and get rid of these artillery pieces with the Flamesfire Phoenix and Alaria, which isn't a bad shout, but I don't think he's going to have enough balance to manage to pull that off. Fire shots coming at the Rattling Gunners, but it does a quite little amount of damage. These guys aren't particularly well blobbed up, and he is going to have to move forward with all his forces if he wants a chance here, I believe. Warpfire throws even trying to launch some fire up into the air against a Flamesfire Phoenix. That is just a complete waste of ammo on these guys' parts. Trying his best here to fend off as many people as possible and waste ammunition. But Alario taking a bit of a pounding here. Handmaiden of the Everqueen needs to push up and start doing some long-range damage. Nice fire shot coming on the Clan Rats. They're doing some huge work. Brennan's goes down to half health for one big old fire poop. He's considering darting in by the looks of it, but he knows there's too much for him here. Needs to constantly avoid these Rattling Gunners as much as possible, but taking quite a lot of work here. Another fire poop catches one poor guy, and he does go down. Some more damage coming in though, doing actually some effective firepower. Some stones are being flung now at the Flamesfire Phoenix, who does not like that one bit. And L'Oreal taking a pounder here. She needs to get way back out of here and out of range of these Warplock Jezzails. Looks like the dragon is moving forward as well. The rest of the higher forces has decided that they need to start pushing forward. More fire poos coming in, doing some decent work on the Warplock Giselles, and this is the problem. He's going to do a lot of damage, but it doesn't kill many models. It didn't kill 2 models so far, and they're still going to be able to put so much damage output regardless. So it's going to be really hard. You need to kind of shut these guys down in one go rather than do kind of little tiny bits of damage. Those Rattling Gunners doing huge work onto this Flamespire Phoenix. Alara as well doing her best slow motion Matrix impression there, but going to be falling back. And of course he does have the healing to heal up the Phoenix and so forth if it does get too low. Star Dragon taking a few shots to the face as well. The rest of the High Elves using the opportunity kind of given to them by the fact this Flamespire Phoenix is soaking up all this damage to push forward and try and get some decent work. I hope the lag is not going to be that bad. It works fine in multiplayer. It seems to be fine at the moment. For the most part, which is good. Flamespire Phoenix is going to be falling back now. Probably needs to pop on top of Alariel and heal up together with a nice Earthblood. Warplock Giselles still have so much ammunition left as well, which is going to be tough. Looks like the Handmaiden was spotted trying to push in here and snipe out some people. Did she get any kills? Nope. None yet. And the rest of the forces are moving up. Flamespire Phoenix taking a huge hammer in here. They're trying to get out of range of Warplock Giselles. And is this going to be a Star of Avalon? No, I'm going to keep falling back just to try and get out of that ridiculous range Warplock Giselles have. And in come the mortars. This is the problem. They're going to wreck these Swordmasters of Hoeth before they even get to the front line, which is a little bit of a nightmare. So we do have a little bit of lag coming in from console, unfortunately, but it's been pretty good for the most part, and it looks like it is stabilising once again. And we'll get to see some Vietnam flashbacks for these Swordmasters of Hoeth as they do go flinging to the ground here, trying to hit the dirt before taking too much damage there. Still, they've got all their models left alive, so those guys will be pushing up a little bit. Looks like they're trying to juke back and forth as much as possible. Archer's now going to start unleashing some shots into the, looks like Doom Bringers. Yep, going to be trying to get those guys down first. Also want to get rid of these Rattling Gunners, who are such a pain for these big units to deal with. Without them, you've got a lot more safety to kind of drop in and do some serious work. Archers, though, starting to decimate these Rattling Gunners very effectively here. Swordmasters, however, trying to get close, but taking an absolute pounding on the way in. Needs to do that Threat Overload. Looks like the Phoenix didn't get too much healing, though, but Lariel did. Threat Overload, charge the Swordmasters in. If he targets those, hit them with the dragons. If he targets those, you need to kind of mulch through those archers and so forth, who are doing a good job here. Looks like they have managed to push back the Rattling Gunners, and the Dragon is going to launch in as well, going after the Doombringers. The Chariots as well, rolling dirty through the Skaven battle lines here. Going to be rolling guys over pretty damn comfortably. Now, a lot of the Skaven forces are going to blob up on the Star Dragon, no doubt, so you probably get the Flamespire things over here to poop on them if they do come too close. It looks like he's chucking everything in on this flank. In the distance, Swordmaster Hoeth being sacrificed here. Clan Vulcan Tails, such as pulling these guys down. Hellpit Abomination will make short work as well. Unfortunately, the Handmaiden Everqueen is still on skirmish mode, being chased off by Skaven slaves. She needs to turn and fight immediately. Gate Guard and Archers doing really nice work on this flank here, helping the High Elves kind of push through and preserve as much as possible. They're doing a very decent job here. Alariel pushing through some Skaven slaves. Clan Rat's been forced off as well. Dragons need to be the focus of attention of all this archer fire. Although Stormbow with Halberds are going to be a big problem. We have a huge banishment coming in from Alariel here, tearing up Clan Rat wherever it goes, getting some good value in general. Star Dragon, though, does have an Earthblood on it, but he is in a bit of danger zone. Could shut down those Poison Wind Mortars, which would be good. Help Abomination coming in. Looks like he's going after the Assassin there, trying to assassinate the Assassin himself. Doombringer's been dragged down by Swordmaster of Hoeth, and Alariel, combined with the Flamespire Phoenix, can now 2v1 the Deathmaster as they've pushed off these Rat Ogres. And it looks like... Oh no! Flamespire Phoenix does in fact go down very quickly and doesn't get its rebirth. If he'd got a rebirth here, I think the High Elves would actually be in a very dominant position. They have to 2v1 the Deathmaster himself here. So a bit unfortunate there, and it looks like Alariel now could be caught, unfortunately, by the Deathmaster. Swordmaster's doing their best. Dragon needs to escape and get back up in the air, but he's getting pinned in at the moment by these rather annoying Poison Wind Mortars. He needs to get back up in the air, Star of Avalon with him and Alariel. If that Phoenix had just respawned, it could deal with the Hellpit Abomination pretty effectively, or at least help and assassinate Deathmaster Snicketch, which could have been huge. The Penguins will rise again. You were damn right, Tim. The rats will fall and the penguins will rise. But I'm more of a duck man myself, but maybe an alliance is due. So, Alariel doing decent work here, taking down the Warplock Giselles. Might be able to pin her in, though, and allow the Hellpit to come over. Looks like he's going to be focusing down at the Swordmasters of Hoeth. These guys are getting a little bit of a beating put on them now, and this giant monstrosity swinging left and right, clubbing these guys to bloody pulps, which is not where they realistically want to be doing with their lives. Chariot up to 40 kills, still needs to get into the back here and shut down the poison wind mortars, but after a really decent attempt, considering what he had, it looks like the High Elves are really starting to struggle now. Star Dragon needs a Star of Avalon on it, so does Alarielle, who's been forced off here. Assassin's Trophy popped on her, she's fleeing for the hills as well, but not before a nice banishment does come down, tearing up those Warplock Giselles. It's staying on them for a reasonable time as well. You can see their health starting to nuke, but it does slowly start to swirl away. Oh no, it's coming back. And these Skaven Slaves don't want to be here either. Warplock Giselles probably going to be forced off here, at least for a limited amount of time. So Alarielle has healed up, needs to get the Star Dragon over here and get some real healing going. Gate Guard up to 67 kills now, paying huge amounts of work here, and the slow-mo cinematic shot of the Hellpit Abomination taking some arrows to the chest. So does he have enough Winds of Magic and Stars left to heal these guys up to try and carry the day? Hopefully he does got a little bit of lag coming in, unfortunately. It does happen, unfortunately, with connecting with players across the world. Chariots, again, cycle charging could probably push off the Storm Vermin. Needs to keep these guys moving though, and not getting bogged down by these huge amount of forces. Hellpit Abomination fleeing from these Gate Guard, probably wants to go over here and shut these guys down, but then again could find himself isolated up against the Star Dragon and Alarielle. Now she's near her healing cap, but the Star Dragon still has a long way to go. Should be interesting. Chariots doing that cycle charging where they can, but it's going to be tough. I don't think the big dinos or the big monsters will be able to carry this, but they're giving it a good go. A lot of decent shots coming in. These guys have healed up a reasonable amount and they're coming back into the action. I haven't seen any breath attacks by the Star Dragon. What he realistically should do, pop on top of Deathmaster Snickage and just shoot directly down on him. It will nuke his health so quickly and effectively. So Clan Vulcan Tail Slashes pinning in this dragon though, trying to stop it from getting back up into the air. He's pushing through these people, but dragons are actually really squishy. They're, oh no, why are you coming back in? No, you could have escaped. And it looks like he may actually, unfortunately, get pinned in here. Once the Ratogers come in, that will be game over. Action tries popping in as well, getting that nice damage on him. He's trying desperately to escape, but there he goes with a big lunge and some help from the Chariots. He does manage to get back up into the air. Alarielle probably will start chasing down some of these Skaven slaves and finishing them off, or probably better to hop on top of these Warplock Giselles. Unfortunately, the Gate Guard are terrified by a Hellpit Abomination. Can't say I blame them. I mean, look at that thing, and you're a little elf armed with a spear. It's not going to be a fun day at the office. Star Dragon, are you going to come in with your big breath attacks? If you can assassinate Deathmaster Snickage here, maybe there is hope. Come on, buddy. Nah, it looks like he's just going to... oh. Is he going for it on the Clan Vulcan? No, I think this is a huge mistake here. He's coming in trying to destroy the Action Tribes, which again is a big problem for him, but if he can assassinate the Deathmaster, that would be huge, as a lot of his forces cause terror, and of course Skaven, very low and weak leadership. Alarielle trying her best here to chase off Skaven slaves, and did force off the Warplock Giselles completely, but there's an assassin lurking, but she manages to swoop up back into the air and try and rally her forces. Star Dragon floating over again, trying to protect these Chariots as much as possible. And the Gate Guard, 67 kills, have done decent work. Very unique formation here. Looks like they are rallying to try and deal with Hellpit Abomination, but it's not going to go too well for the little fellas. And that's like the Mimikai hitting the Rohan. You have hope, and then bang, the music drops, and all of your forces just end up dying, unfortunately. Alarielle trying her little best here to come over and support. Maybe one more banishment, but I think they've probably used most of those up. Star Dragon floating over top here. Once again, a breath attack on Deathmaster Snickage, then a cycle charge from both these guys, possibly to allow these guys to get back into the game. But apart from that, I don't think there's much hope. The Gate Guard have been routed once more. And, he's buying time, but trying to find a way to pick apart this forces. But all he literally needs to do, Suave, is bulk up his forces. Move them all together, go in one big old fist, and beat them down. So another breath attack coming in. Looks like he's trying to take down the Ratogers and the Trides there. Getting some decent work, but I think 2 breath attacks on Deathmaster Snickage, if they hit directly, I know it's risky, but if they hit directly, probably would be able to take him down. Looks like an extended Earthblood is popped on these forces, but in retaliation some pebbles are being thrown at them. I mean, Alarielle is already at a healing cap, so it's just the Dragon getting the heals. Dragon is going in for a charge here, trying to take out the Ratogers nice and early on there, but he is going to be completely surrounded now. Alarielle, it's a tough one. Do you chuck her in and risk her dying? Probably not. You've got to hope the Star Dragon can carry and that you have some magic left to keep him going. Chariots also doing a decent job in the back lines. As you can see, mortars have shattered off. And it looks like that Handmaiden finally coming back to the action as well after the 61 slaves. But Dragon slowly being dragged down here. Deathmaster Slickage not having any of it. He is routed, and that is certainly going to set in army losses in a second. And it looks like the Sigil does manage to catch Hilariel. She's not going to be getting out of there. She does get one final Earthblood off, trying to keep the Dragon in the action. But Hilariel herself is not in good state at all. Assassin's Trophy is put on her as well. 260 health. She maybe can rally if she gets back up into the air. Star Dragon retreating as well. I have no idea why the balance power is still this kind of healthy in the high elf favour. Yes, they have these chariots who can do some decent cycle charging, but they will be dragged down eventually. And the Handmaiden, I suppose, if she'd been over here the whole time, perhaps she could have helped. But it looks like Alara's back up into the sky. Maybe another Earthblood on the Star Dragon can help support. He has to engage the chariots now. He is pushing forward with them, but yeah, I'll let him know if he keeps cycle charging. It looks like he's just going to pop on these spears, but he needs to stay and fight. These guys do rally. We do have a big breath attack coming down the Hell Pit Abomination, getting in some decent to okay work. But again, 3 breath attacks on Deathmaster Snickage would have been so much better. Looks like he is staying and fighting now with the chariots. I'll drop him a message in a sec. Chariots must stay in combat. Cool. As nothing else is currently engaged, and these guys are all single entities here. So the chariots currently trying to escape some of these pesky Eshin tribes and so forth, trying to get back and rally to his troops. But the Dragon now has popped in on top of that Hell Pit Abomination. He has managed to isolate him now. He can snipe this guy out, but I would not have chucked a Lariel in there. I mean, the extra damage really does help, but she's at 260 health. One good hit and she is dead. And there we go. Just as I said, death embraces your lord, and down she goes. Star Dragon as well will not be long for this world. It's done a huge job trying to carry this battle. Hell Pit Abomination down to 2,000 health, but the Dragon 315. And with that, it does start to rout once more. Probably going to get completely killed here as well. Chariots trying their best. 227 kills is pretty damn impressive, considering you don't see that unit used much at all. Console apologising for light, but it's no biggie. It does happen, unfortunately. I'm not sure if it's his problem connecting with me, or kind of with just the general internet connection as a whole. Yeah, Handmaiden with ammo probably counts quite a bit, but realistically, what was she going to do here? I mean, a ton of the Skaven forces are breaking over here. Look at all the Clan Rats and Skaven Rats which have broken, but it looks like he did, in fact, drop out. They just weren't going to be able to take down the Assassin and Deathmaster Snickage there, realistically. But valiant defeat. Super close game. 227 kills on Chariot is pretty crazy. Yeah, no worries, man. It is all good. So we do have Dissa up next, and then Rapso will close the game out. So 2 games left. Well played with the tiny army. So, Dissa, please do join in. Password is 123. And let's change the scoreboard. Yep. Suave up to 5 wins. Can anyone stop him? He's a master of the Autogen forces at the moment. Which he's doing a very, very good job. So, we have Dissa up next. The man, the myth, the legend. Cool, cool. Make sure we don't have any messages on Discord. And in he comes. Also known as the Mighty Celeb. Yo. So, the map will be the last relatively sensible map of the stream. There you go, Central Chaos Wastes. Let's move that to the side. Pop up the wheel. And for the second to last time, let's go a little spinny spin. So, the Wheel of Doom. There's loads of spins in there. Get really flying around. And we do, in fact, have the Dowies for... We'll get that to Suave. I'll just do it by whoever's on the left-hand side on the scoreboard up top. That's all I can see at the moment. So Suave will be the Mighty Dowie. And Dissa... No! No! Unfortunately... It's a Dowie mirror match, my god. Oh, oh, this is going to be insane. Celeb to auto first. Oh dear God. Daniel, you did win again, so let's see his forces. 4 Iron Drakes going to be useless in this matchup, so I'm assuming he's going to switch. Cannon though, Grombrindle as well. It could be worse. We have a lot of armor-piercing great weapons. Hammers as well would be fantastic. Again, Slayer's not going to be the best though against her. Stick or twist. I'm assuming we are going to get a twist here. He's got tools. He has tools, but the Iron Drakes aren't going to do too much. A stick. Okay. I can't see these guys doing too much apart from against Slayers. Do have a Gyro Bomber though, which could do work. Cannon as well could be useful. Now the king. I must bring beer for this. I'll be back tomorrow, no worries, man. So, the King's forces have been selected. We have an Organ Gun, a Bolt Thrower, once again, some more Iron Drakes, Brimstone Gun as well. This is a much better pick. I would keep this. Stick or twist. He's twisting, but you have 2 hammers, perfect in this matchup. You have 2 great weapons, perfect. An Organ Gun. Well, yes, switched. We do have Iron Drakes. Okay, Troll Hammer Torpedoes are pretty good here. We still have the Organ Gun. Grombrindle as well. Oh, I've kept the fin up, haven't I? Thank you, Raptor, for pointing that out. Stick or twist. Let's pop that down. Jesus, so it looks like he is twisted again for the final time. Cool. We have Ungrim Iron Fist. Haha, you must stay. You must stay. So we have 3 Iron Drakes. We're going to have a big old Iron Drake off here, which is not going to do good. Yes, it is the final one. You must stay. So here's Ungrim, Runesmith. I mean, a ton of dwarf warriors are great weapons, and double hammers are going to put in absolute work here, and probably carry the day, you would think. Grudge for a... It's going to be interesting. That's it. Yep. Good to go. Let's see what happens here. It is going to be a nightmare. The wheel! Don't worry, I managed to see it. The Wheel of Doom. Okay, Raptor sent me a message on Steam. But guys, if you do enjoy this format, please do consider giving it a big old thumbs up. It lets me know that this kind of thing is popular, and I'll try and get it in there with our kind of more routine Death Before Dishonor tournaments and other King of the Hills and so forth. Plus it helps out the channel, which is super nice. And feel free to stick around, subscribe. And I believe it's a rumour. Oh, you mean you'll be back tomorrow to see who wins because the matchup won't take that long? Have you seen Iron Breakers against Treekin? It takes forever. But I have heard a rumour, which I can't confirm 100% if it's true. But if you subscribe and like the channel, I think Raptor comes to your house and gives you a puppy. It's the rumour I've heard. It's been circulating through a lot of the major discords. I don't know for certain. It might not be true, but I feel like it's worth the risk. I feel like it is worth the risk. So, Central Chaos waits here. Nice big hill, which you often see a lot of players are rushing for, but with Dowie, nothing is ever really rushed. Some very cool lower jaw as well architecture down here. So, this is going to be a nightmare, as they both do have the same colour scheme. Let's look at the Challenger Celeb and his forces first. So, of course, we have the 4 Iron Drakes. What type of Dowie on Dowie violence is, complete without a ridiculous amount of Iron Drakes? We have Giant Slayers mixed in as well with the Dragonback Slayers. This contingent here is pretty useless for the most part, unfortunately. However, we do have some Hammers mixed in with Dwarf Warriors with great weapons who should do a fantastic job here, mixed in with some basic ones as well. Leadership Corps, we have a Thane and Grombrindle, the White Dwarf. Now, he could be a bit of a saving grace to this army, an absolute powerhouse and armor-piercing god of war. We do also have a Cannon as well, which is quite nice, and a Gyro Bomber. So overall, pretty terrible force. Obviously not the player's fault there. It's just all down to luck. Now for Suave and his Dowie forces, we have a couple of mines with blasting charges. Again, not going to do too much in this matchup. A bolt thrower, which will be very good at sniping out that cannon, so that can be pretty useful. We do have Iron Drakes, who once again will pretty much do nothing. We have a Grudge Thrower, could be pretty useful for taking down those hammers and so forth. And then Dwarf Warriors with great weapons for a main battle line. Really nice and lucky pick here. We also have a couple of hammers as well, including the Peak Gate Guard. There's just so much more armor piercing on this side. I can't really see them losing this. We also have Dragonback Slayers as well. We're going to have one of those Spider-Man meme moments in a bit where they go up against each other. We have a Runesmith as well for those buffs, and the mighty, legendary Ungrim Iron Fist, who's going to be trying to complete his Slayer Oath by going up against the mightiest dwarf in living legend, the White Dwarf. Looks like he has gone for Red Ruin, Deadly Onslaught, and Death Blow, and of course he is unbreakable. Good luck, have fun in the chat, always good to see. That is the main way to get invited back, by the way, to my tournaments and so forth, and get replays on the channel and so forth. It's just to be a nice and helpful personal round. It is a truly terrifying experience. So here we go. Cannon going to be loading up its shots. Really needs to get some good value onto those hammers, but I have a feeling the bolt thrower is just going to pull it down, unfortunately. Oh, we are all good. Yeah, it's just they're taking a while to fire their shots. Okay. Bolt thrower coming in now and targeting down the Iron Drakes. We're in a tiny platform formation, so it's doing some okay damage there. Giant Bomber is moving forwards, which is going to be fairly uncontested here, actually. If I come over here and help finish off the bolt thrower, allow the cannon to keep shooting, and then drop some bombs on top of these hammers, that could be a good way into the game, as I think apart from that, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But Cannon, already up to 4 kills. Killing a couple of crewmates. Looks like the bombers, though, are shooting into mines right now. They need to come over here and help finish off this bolt thrower crew, because they will lose that engagement, I think, up against the cannon kind of 9 times out of 10. It's just not nowhere near as accurate, but so far it's going pretty well. Cannons sliding, cannonballs sliding into bolt throwers. Apparently that's a way a lot of young people, or not young people in general, people in the army, inexperienced people used to lose limbs. They used to try and see a cannonball rolling down a hill or something, or moving very slowly, and try to pick it up to stop it moving, and it would just completely run them over because those things are heavy as hell. So both forces pretty much ignoring their artillery pieces and leaving them at the back. There's no point really protecting them here. Nothing that can get onto them that quickly. Looks like the Iron Drake's going to try and fire some shots up at the Giant Bomber before they thought better of it. Decides to move towards the front line. Dwarf Warrior's taking a bit of a beating over here by the Grudge Thrower, up to 13 kills. And holy fire is being flamed upon Dwarf Warriors. Doing some actually really good work. Surprising amount of damage coming in by those guys there. And the hammers do have a nice pick up against the mines of blasting charges there, but in return they are getting roasted pretty heavily as well. Giant Bomber doing some good work on these hammers and forcing the bolt thrower off as well. Dwarf Warriors going to be going up against Dwarf Warriors with great weapons though. These guys are going to chew through these their brethren here quite tastily. It's something quite horrible about watching dwarf on dwarf violence. It just feels so unnatural and wrong. These guys are meant to be loyal and kind of good all-round folk, but unfortunately it does not seem like it's going to be paid out that way. Undrake's slowly moving up now for Sleb as well, trying to get in the action. Bolt thrower slowly going down. The cannon still full health here, so it could do some decent damage to all these hammers. That Runesmith as well, popping down Rune of Oath and Still and Rune of Negation, because you know Dowie aren't tanky enough, and he has managed to push into the back line, do some good job, and slowly drag down these Iron Prints. As to the main effort though, hammers have kind of teamed up with these Dwarf Warriors to push back and through the enemy. However, nice cannon fire coming in here by Celeb, doing some good work. Oh, looks like my camera's tripping out a little bit there. Up to 28 kills on hammers is no mean feat at all. Bomber though needs to get in here as well and start taking down these hammers, but he's doing a decent job taking down the bolt thrower for now, which is probably a priority target. Flame coming in all directions, not really helping anyone out here. Looks like these hammers though doing a decent job. In distance, Peak Gate Guard up to 7 kills now, it's not too much, but have managed to find home on some Iron Drake, and it looks like for the most part the Iron Drakes of Celeb have been isolated and surrounded, whereas the Iron Drakes of Suave are still all fine, which could be pretty key here. Ungrim trying his best, but he is up against 2 warriors here, not just 1. Going up against a Thane as well as the legendary Grombrindle here, so I don't think Ungrim's going to stand too much of a chance, but of course he will fight to the death, just giving him a little bit of an edge in some cases, but here looks like he's most certainly going to be going down. Looks like the Peak Gate Guard doing a decent job here. Oh, Ungrim's Suave, sorry, I got that wrong. So that is actually a pretty good pick here for Suave. He's managed to push through this middle centre pocket, maybe take out the enemy leadership. But apart from that, his forces are struggling. Peak Gate Guard and Runesmith are rolling around as a crew here, buffing them up and tearing apart dwarves wherever they see them. I love that Grombrill's just slowly chasing Ungrim here. He does get a foe seeker to get a bit of a charge bonus here, and does he have his smoke bomb? That'd be really useful now in pinning in Ungrim. Does get a good old slap on him there, stuttering him a bit. Once again, he's going to start legging it. Where is the Gyro Bomber? Looks like it has managed to finish off the Bolt Thrower overall, although getting very low on ammunition now. Only 12 kills as well. And it looks like the Red Dwarfs in general are faring a little bit better, apart from leadership, where their leader is getting pulled down. Flamethrowers onto the Gyrocopters would be probably quite horrible to drive like that. And where is Ungrim? There is Ungrim running for the hills still. Looks like Drownback Slayers have managed to catch Grombrindle and this Fane, allowing Ungrim to escape there, which is quite nice to see. Runesmith once again popping some buffs, and over here we have Dwarf Warriors of Grey Weapons slowly pulling down Iron Drakes. So the cannon done really good work so far. Looks like it has gained a chevron, is firing into these hammers right in front of it and completely shattering them off, up to 37 kills as well. Looks like he's launching those shots into these Dwarf Warriors as well, doing a decent job. Battle balance of power though, heavily in favour of the current kin Suave. Even though Ungrim is so beat up, he's probably going to be able to keep escaping, and the Peak Gate Guard are just absolute monsters. Fane has popped on top of the Runesmith, which is a really bad matchup for this Runesmith here, trying his little best. The Peak Gate Guard are here to support, and they will do a fantastic job against this Fane in comparison. As you can see, armor loss are starting to set in, and I think the King is going to remain strong. Just going to have a little bit of drink there as my throat is getting a little sore now. But GG's all round in a quite horrifying experience of Dowie on Dowie violence. GG. My eyes are bleeding. So, we do have Raptor for the final game. Can he be the man, the myth, the legend we need to destroy Suave here? Let's pop him a cheeky little invite there. Oh, it looks like Geese Howard is now part of Extreme Meme Team. That's very cool. Oh, Flying Man Diapers. Hey, is anyone else? I'm afraid, dude. Sorry, man. Last game is up. So, quickly, let us change the scoreboard to start with. Suave, 6 games in a row. Pretty crazy stuff. And we have Raptor coming in to try and steal the win at the end there. So, let's check Discord and see what map Raptor wanted. It was Black Ark Landing. Hey. So, Black Ark Landing it is. And let's go get these guys sorted. So, we will start with Suave first. Pop up the wheel there. So, Suave, the current king, will be... Let's get a real good spin there for one of the last spins of the Wheel of Doom. Who can resist 4 Iron Drakes? I love it. We have the Empire for the mighty Suave. And the last spin of the stream for Raptor. So, we have Empire up against Dark Elves. Empire for Suave and Dark Elves for Raptor. Time to end your rule of terror. No, my crown. Good to see these guys urchin. Ugh, by Suave there, but I think this is a pretty even matchup, which is nice to see. So, Raptor to go first. I'll take it. Could have been much worse. Could have been much worse. Could have been Dowie on Dowie violence. So, we can see his forces here. Do have some Dark Rise for nice backline harass. Raven Heralds, Hagenef Executions as well. Not too bad. Sorcerer of Fire. Stick or twist. I'll twist. Okay. So we are getting a nice twist coming in. There we go. Oh, 2 feral manticores. Very nice backline harass. Plus the harpies. Nice little ranged core as well. And some elite infantry. An assassin and a dreadlord, but no magic. Stick or final twist. Is it worth risking it for the magic? It's a pretty good build apart from that, I think. Well, for a random build, of course. Twist again. Okay, so he's gone for the final one, and it is... Dun, 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 dun. He has a mage. Okay, that's pretty nice. We have a Supreme Sorceress of Dark, K-Knight Assassin, an elite infantry corps here. Quite a lot of ranged forces and some nice cav. Okay. Cool. That's the final one. What to do? Cool. On to the king. And we'll see what Suave goes. Guys, I'm so tired. It's the last game, man. Will, oh, thank you. Thank you. At least this stops us doing it mid-battle, which is all good. So, we have 2 Hellstorm batteries here. Outriders with grenade launchers. Pretty decent stuff overall, but again, no wizard, which is pretty sad. Stick or twist. Where's up on screen? There we go. I've got it, guys. I've got it. Oh, what's this big spinny wheel? It's pretty good. Stick or twist. Wheel is moved. So it looks like he did mix it up. This time we have 2 Demigryph Knights. Some Gundamans Surefire. So we have the Unbreakable Great Swords, Elder's Guard, Swords of Auric. Lots of awesome stuff here. So stick or final twist. Twist. He wants that mage. I don't blame him. Final twist there. And still no mage, General of the Empire, Empire Captain, but we do have Swords of Auric, Norderland's Marinas as well, which is pretty cool to see, and a decent Cav core as well to protect the 2 Hellstorm batteries. Love it. So, going to be interesting. Those Cav need to hop on top of the Hellstorm batteries fairly effectively. I was able to do some decent damage to the Blackguard and so forth, but no magic could really stop him. He's curious, but it's fine. We're going to be getting going. What's up, Hydra? How's it going, dude? The big wheel was to help determine random factions. So instead of using Siri today, we ended up using the wheel. So this is a continuation of yesterday's stream. Because obviously so many people can play in that one and so forth. Because of the lag, we come back in and thought we'd finish it off today. But this is the final game of the stream, as I really need to go grab some pizza. I had Mexican for lunch. There's a new Mexican restaurant open up just down the road, and it is so good. I'm going to spend all my money there. There's some enchiladas. So good. Some nacho chips as well, dip, and it's just delicious. Should be good fun though. Black Ark Landing is the horrific map we find ourselves on. Nominated of course by Raptor, as is tradition on the stream. The final map is always a terrible me map, which normally Raptor or Aristodemus will suggest to us. And it looks like it is a choke point map with 2 bridges entering and exiting, which will probably favour the Empire, especially if the Empire on this side. It is nasty. Storm rocket batteries up on the high ground here, and then pin in your opponents on both of these bridges, and they stand 0 chance here. Hey, 275 hype! Nice, nice. I'm assuming that's 275 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing. It really helps out. And my goal is to get to 1,000, obviously, because then I get a load of kind of possibilities unlocked for me by becoming a partner with YouTube. I already have the views, which is really annoying, on the view time, but I just don't have the subscribers just yet. So, the Empire forces, we go through them first, who are not too good. I mean, they get the downhill charge, I suppose, which is a bit of a bonus. I may be screwed. That is fine. So, Suave has a couple units of Demigryph Knights. Looks like both of them... Oh no, one has Halberds, one with the Lance. So a nice little combination there. Plus Zintler's Reichsguard. Not going to be too useful though using Cav in this rather dense formation. We have Crossbowmen mixed in with Great Swords. Northern Mariners as well. What do these guys bring to the table? Rowdy, which is perfect. Cool. They get perfect vigor. Swords of Ulrich, who do in fact have Frenzy. So these are all campaign units. Normally you can't use in multiplayer, but because we're doing random, we're allowing everything in. His leadership core, we have a General of the Empire and Empire Captain. And that's about it. Crossbowmen as well. And yeah, pretty solid stuff. 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries. Now for the Dark Elves, they have been very sneaky sappings here. Come across the bridge with a couple units of Dark Riders here. 3 in fact, needing to hunt down these artillery pieces as quickly as possible. For the rest of his forces, however, we are up on the high ground here. We have a Reaper Bolt Thrower. We're firing down at those enemies as they try and gather across the bridge. Couple units of Black Guard of Nagarond. The Bolt Fiends, so Regiment Renowned Dark Shards here, in a very cool tactical pose there. Looks like they're doing a kind of B-boy pose. We also have Black Ark Corsairs, more Black Ark Corsairs, and a couple of units of Dark Shards. A Supreme Sorceress of Dark is on her pony here. And let's see what abilities she is bringing to the table. So she's got the Opal Amulet and the Black Horror here, Arcane Conduit. Apart from that though, a big fat Soul Sealer, Blade Wind, Word of Pain, and Chill Wind. So pretty cool stuff indeed. Could be interesting to see if that flank pays off. Sorry, I'm losing my voice now after the stream for quite so long. Oh, this looks pretty cool up here as well. Maybe you can teleport. But interesting to see if this actually does pay off here. K-Knight Assassin as well, protecting these guys. Now, if they were undetected, they could easily hold on top of the Hellstorm rocket batteries, but unlike a normal deployment, they're not going to be at the back because of the way the map is based. He's going to want to get up here and secure this high ground here. So, realistically, they're going to be running into Zintler's Reichsguard and Demigryph Knights, which isn't good for anyone. Good luck, good luck. Looks like these guys are good to get going. Oh god, my camera's going to be mental on this map, isn't it? Dark Elves are attacking their own ship. Perhaps, and Raptor map couldn't have gone back at a better time. That is true. Dark Elves, yeah, looks like their ship was taken over here by some Empire scallywags. Perhaps where they are out raiding that these guys took control. And they are now back for the hunt. So it looks like the Cav have recognised what is going on behind them here. Dark Elves are trying to push forward, but they do not want to engage here. They will get absolutely decimated. Looks like they are taking the fight though. Trying to do a 2v1 here on the Zintler's Reichsguard. Dark Rise perhaps trying to use this opportunity to sneak around with one unit and hop into these Hellstorm rocket batteries. But it is not looking good here for Rapture and these Dark Elves going up against Demigryph Knights. They're getting pulled apart so quickly. Disaster for these Dark Rise. They need to pull back immediately and fight, kind of be a constant menace and threat in the back of the King's mind by just lingering over here. If the enemy come close, pop back over the bridge and so forth. And when your main army hits, that's when you come in and swing in. He'll have to leave units back here to protect, and it should really help you out a bit. Hellstorm rocket batteries trying to get some line of sight by pushing up this hill here. Supreme Sorceress though rampaging forwards, perhaps trying to get onto the Hellstorm rocket battery before it gets any reinforcements from its troops. But Dark Ride's been ridden off everywhere they go here. Looks like some of them have started to rally. K-Knight Assassin here has popped Dark Venom, 90% weapon damage bonus, but is getting slaughtered here by a mixture of Demigryph Knights and General of the Empire. This poor little guy down here somewhere. There he is, just getting mauled and clawed to death here. Perhaps the magic though can help this sorceress kind of bring the game back. Nice magic cast as well, bringing down the Swords of Ulrich to about half health. And we do have a Word of Pain as well, learning the accuracy of this Hellstorm rocket battery, which is going to be launching shots, bouncing down a hill here, kind of messing up their attack animation a little bit. They're doing some decent work to Dark Shards. And yeah, this may not be the worst situation for the Dark Elves here, as the Hellstorm rocket battery is having trouble firing downhill, but then again, decent damage all round, and they did lose a load of units off the bat, which isn't good. Does any of them fall back over this way? No, it looks like they've all been completely routed off, unfortunately. Looks like the Archer's taking a bit of a pounding as well, but for the most part, the Blackguard are relatively healthy, and there's going to be a tough time to deal with the Blackguard. Another nice wind attack coming down as well. There's some okay work, but needs to be really cast on these units rather than the Hellstorm batteries. You need to get on top of those guys basically just as fast as possible here. And maybe the elite core of the Dark Elves can carry the day. Reaper Bolt Thrower getting in there and doing some decent shots as well, trying to target down the swordsmen here, who have rallied and started to push forward to try and protect their artillery pieces as much as possible. So Sisters of Singing Doom are hopping in here, going to be rampaging that artillery crew so it can't flee anywhere, before Blackguard are also popping up as well to help protect those ladies against any cav charges that pop in. Once again, we have another magic attack coming down here, really trying to get these Hellstorm rock barriers off the field, but I think a much better target would kind of be this blob here, or this blob up here, and it is going through them partially, I suppose. Dark Shards finally managed to find their feet and get some decent damage in here as well, on top of the Greatswords, and really helping the Blackguard Nagons stick it out as much as possible. Blade Wind comes in, but unfortunately there does go downhill rather than uphill. Could have done some really nice work over here. Demigryph Knights have a stand your ground and do some nice circle charging into these Blackguard. Never fear, if an opponent has anti-large, you can still charge into them and try and break through their lines like the Demigryphs do. And now they're charging downhill as well into these Black Ark Corsairs and be running these guys over. They do not stand much chance at all here. Empire General as well, leading the charge into the back line. There's nothing back here left to protect these squishier troops. Blackguard trying their best in the front lines, but there's just too many foes here for them to really deal with. Again, nice magic attacks coming down. How many kills is she onto? Where is she hanging out? There she is on her pony. Up to 58 kills isn't too bad. Can perhaps now surround the General of the Empire and just blitz him with arrow fire once they've broken off the Demigryph Knights. Could be a good way back into the game here. As for the Black Ark Corsairs, still firing some shots in at the Demigryphs, probably the best way to do it. Blackguard Nagons are killing them now. They are rampaged, and in fact terrified now, which is kind of funny. Slowly getting dragged down by Blackguard. This is a pretty close fight. Balance of power actually in favour of the Dark Elves. Empire Captain trying to shut down all these archers. Looks like the Demigryphs were defeated here. They should rally though if they don't go off the edge too soon. And so all these guys are going to be firing at the General of the Empire. Not a bad pick at all. Great Swords trying to push forward here as well. Once again, it can be taking a ton of fire to the face, and it looks like all of a sudden a load of the Dark Elf forces have just started to break. And all these guys are missile troops. Some of them, I mean, are crossbreeds. You've got the Black Ark Corsairs who can fight relatively okay in combat, but they do not want to be fighting Great Swords and the like. More shots coming in as well by the Reaper, sorry, Boltthrower. Up 29 kills. No, these Demigryph Knights were charging ahead to finish them off. Probably should have carried on as it's getting some decent work done. However, a couple of them go down now to some wild shots. Some more Demigryph Halberds as well have managed to hunt down the Supreme Sorceress and popped on top of her. And if they can drag her down there, that'd be some really nice work. Another Chill Wind coming in here doing some decent work to Demigryph Knights. I believe that's called Chill Wind anyway, maybe not Chill Wind. What's that called? Let's get on top of you. Let's have ya! Where is it? Yeah, it's Chill Wind. I should trust my judgment a bit more there. Good use of it so far, but unfortunately Supreme Sorceress has been surrounded by Demigryph Knights. It looked like at one point the Dark Elves was going to be able to endure, bottle up their opponents here and constantly do that firepower over top. But unfortunately, justice has been done, and Raptor was finally defeated by one of his own meme maps. Oh, looks like my phone's internet connection has died quickly. The Wi-Fi is not great. The LAN's fantastic, but the Wi-Fi is a bit of a problem. So I reload that up so I can see what you guys are saying in chat, as that was the final game of the stream, unfortunately. Sneak stolen by brave Empire troops, indeed. Indeed, indeed. Perhaps Empire troops in disguise, but the King stands. Another win by Suave there. If only you were on the other side. GG. What a glorious map. I guess I got karma. You did indeed, Raptor, I'm afraid. You did indeed. So for the last time, let's change the scoreboard. 7 wins. Very well played to Suave there in his debut for his channel. Congrats. Let's make sure we spell his name right. Suave. You are this week's king. With a 7-game win streak. Wait, it was 7 games, right? Yes, it was. Perfect. Well played to the king, indeed. Nice fair play there by Raptor, shouting out and hailing the king. So congrats to Suave. He is this week's king with 7 wins, which is pretty crazy. Great showing. So thank you guys for tuning in. It has been a magical Hail the King, oh god, perhaps he'll be elevated a bit like Sigma was in the future if this streak continues. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please do consider leaving a like and subscribing if you do like this type of content. It lets me know to do more of these rather than the standard stuff that I currently am doing. Also, feel free to comment down below and all that good stuff. And I do, in fact, have a Patreon account as well if you want to support in any other manner. I believe you can do any type of donation, but at the same time, my stuff is completely free as well, so don't worry too much if you can't. No worries, Swath. I see you saying thanks for the comment there. Well played to the king, all hail. Yes, 7 games, Senpai. It was pretty damn crazy. It was very good indeed. So if you guys do want to get involved in future tournaments and so forth, my Discord is down in the description below. Pop onto that and you'll get a heads up when I do all my events. So until next time, guys, peace, and stay awesome.